Welcome to Ultimate Autographs. If you're looking for the internet's most exciting and interactive live break room, you've come to the right place. We're opening live break mystery boxes featuring the biggest names from across the sports world every single day. If you're new to breaking with us, keep watching and we'll show you exactly how it all works. First, head over to the live break page and look for a series that you want to play. Most of our series will have 8 spots representing the 8 NFL divisions, but other sports breaks or mixers may vary. If you purchase one spot, you have a 1 in 8 chance to win memorabilia at an awesome value. Next, click Add to Cart to purchase your live break spot. Once you've completed your checkout, tune in to the next available Live Breaks broadcast on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube at 9 a.m., noon, 3 p.m., or 6 p.m. Central Time any day of the week. As you watch, you'll see a name appear on the screen when your break begins. Your name will go into the randomizer, and the order will be randomized a specific amount of times based on that show's dice roll number. After randomization, the list of names of people who bought spots in that live break will be matched up with an NFL division. If the item that's pulled from the mystery box matches your division, congratulations. You just won an incredible piece of signed memorabilia at a fraction of the cost. Want to guarantee yourself an item instead of testing your luck? Check out the mystery box tab of our website for a variety of mystery box options. When you buy a mystery box, we'll ship it straight to your door, and some can be opened on air at your request. While you're there, make sure to sign up for our Signature Club Rewards program. This exclusive club earns you points towards specific discounts, signed items, and prizes each and every time you buy at UltimateAutographs.com. The moment you've been waiting for has come. Let's break some signed memorabilia.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the Ultimate Autographs live break room. That's Sidney. This is Rob, your usual Saturday tag team to get you guys off and running for the best live breaking community on the entire interweb. We have our starting 5 of viewing options for you guys today. YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter/X. So depending on what, if you haven't updated your app for the last 7 or 8 years, you're probably still on Twitter. But most people consider it X. There's no doubt what we consider this platform, and that is the, like I just mentioned, the greatest mystery box live stream on the entire internet. Chinmay, my man, again, we get our once a week reunions. So between Sunday and Friday, hopefully it was good for you this past week.
Yeah, it was a good week. Excited for football to be back, even in a preseason capacity. We'll truly get all the preseason stuff will truly get started this coming week with all the teams taking either their first or second preseason games. Carson Beck, though, looked pretty good for a preseason game, and Cardinals fans are kind of wondering if, in fact, Carson Beck should be named the starting quarterback, and they should see what they have with Carson Beck instead of rolling with Jacoby Brissett or Gardner Minshew. So we'll see what happens in Arizona, and then Carolina, obviously Bryce Young, the starter there, and there's not a whole Haynes King should probably be the backup over Kenny Pickett at some point.
I think that, Kenny Pickett's doing whatever he can to make sure he doesn't end up in the CFL at some point in his career. So, but yeah, I mean, Carson Beck, that'll be interesting for him, right? I mean, when you have a projected win total of probably about 2 or 3, you know, there's that you might as well throw the kid into the fire. Again, you know, you don't want to derail the kid's confidence early on in the first year of his career. But the one thing about the Cardinals that we can say out of all the potential dismal things that might go on in their this upcoming year, they have some really good offensive weapons.
Yeah.
Not a great offensive line. You have more running backs than you know what to do with, but Trey McBride, best tight end in the game, Michael Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., you can't say that he's not going to have great options to throw to. So, speaking of options, we have 3 different boxes that are actually going to get us started off and running here. Yeah. And we got some of our usual weekend regulars. John Campbell, what's up, JC? Saying good morning, guys. And Cody. Commander Cody with us here from Facebook. Can't say I'm super familiar, my friend, but welcome in. Hopefully you're in one of these first couple of breaks with us, but if not, that's A-okay. If you got any questions to ask Chinmay and I, we are your roadmaps through the entire break room with us this morning. So for people that are going to be new tuning in, we have 2 things that we need to get started for every single show. That's our dice roll, and that is our chase wheel spin. So the dice roll is pretty simple. We got to roll between a 6 and a 12. You will see this instantly for why this is going to matter. This is how many times you get spun in our list randomizer. That will determine where you land in the divisions for the break. So what's the, for the second Saturday of August, what number are you feeling?
I'm feeling 9 as usual. It's still 2026.
Still 2026.
So I'm feeling 9.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, with how great our Saturdays have been lately, definitely don't want to mess with the dice roll gods. So I'll rock number 10 today. No particular reason, but we're gonna go with 6. So both of our guesses mean absolutely nothing, but that's okay. Not going to affect anything here with us. But for our chase wheel spin, I'm feeling the again. I usually just kind of like to handpick where I think the momentum's going to go. Now, ironically, it would kind of make sense to go with the move the chain series, you know, because we are literally moving the chains to start off with those two. However, I'm going to be a little greedy because I think this series is really, really cool. 13 golden tickets remain. So many elite headliners. Got Chinmay and I so excited. We were talking about it on the way into the show today. So that's going to be the gold jacket. You know, there's a reason why we call it the gold jacket, because there are a lot of golden tickets, as I mentioned, that are out there. In case you are wondering, as we are getting ready to get into this first break, right above, mostly Chinmay's head up in that upper right-hand corner, you got the viewership, the dice roll, the refer a friend, which I will shamelessly plug is the last thing we do before we get into these breaks here, guys. And of course, what our chase wheel spin is going to be. So how you get into that refer a friend, we just gave away all of our great stuff for the GOAT, Go Plus, and Refer a Friend giveaway. This directly pertains to our Refer a Friend program. Super easy thing to do, folks. They get $50 off. You get $50 back on their first order of $100 or more. We have a multitude of different options to bring a buddy into this room and to just relay a real-life scenario. Chinmay, we actually had a good buddy of Dan Jobbett in Ricky Wilson. Ricky Wilson, early on in this week, played in his first ever break, and I think Dan was just kind of using Ricky to get some money back in his account. Little did he know, the same break that he played in with Ricky, he picked up his first win and got the 4 golden tickets that Dan was looking for.
Wow,
so
okay.
That could be you if you are a newbie out there. So now that the intros are out of the way, we got the move the chains to get into. We're going to start off with a double, 2 numbers for that move the chain. That is going to be double number 6. We got Dan, Jill, and Kathleen. Again, so honestly, Dan, didn't know you were in this, so maybe that's not the best anecdote that I could have used to bring us into the show. But Dan,
well, he's hunting for tickets, right? So
damn right.
That's the series where there's still some golden tickets left, and for the folks who are new in the break room and wondering what the hell the golden tickets are for, Rob will go into that a little bit later. But I'm sure there's some very cool stuff in the locker as usual. The Michael Jordan content in the locker has I don't think there's a new Michael Jordan. I don't know if the old Michael Jordan was even claimed or not, but there has been some Michael Jordan items in the locker, and that has piqued my interest once again. There's a different correct. There's a different Michael Jordan framed photo in the locker. There was a previous Michael Jordan framed photo that was claimed. 23 tickets got claimed, and now there's a new 23 tickets Michael Jordan frame photo with all his NBA championship banners in that picture. So we'll definitely be showing that off at some point. But all your unique one of a kind items you will find in the locker.
Yeah, we'll touch upon that. Salute, my friend. We'll touch upon that. Hopefully, you're not allergic to that brand new MJ poster over there.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
So I believe that price point's the same, right? It's also 23 golden tickets.
23 golden tickets. Yep.
And that actually
couldn't tell you how they came up with that number.
I think it's worth 45 golden tickets, if I'll be honest. But that actually is a literally sizable improvement. I think that's a 38 by 22 size. But again, we will get into that once we do. So I'll go through our divisions real quick, and after this, I will go to the wheel randomizer. More than enough time for Kathleen, Dan, and Jill to get into things here to pick a number, but again, maybe they're, getting some coffee and some flapjacks ready to get ready for the morning show. So Kathleen has every single division not named the NFC West, which belongs to Dan, and the AFC East, which goes to Jill Labovitz. Last time I checked, Chinmay, this is, I believe, out of 30 boxes. I will check our boxes real
30,
quick.
yeah.
Out of 30? Okay, fantastic. So, again, another little tip or trick into the break room for those that are not familiar. This is what we spin if a number is not called in an upcoming break. Or you can also call wheel as well if you choose to do so. So we're going to go with the Baker Mayfield number 6. However, it does not look like we have 6. I think 4, excuse me. 4. 4 is going to be the closest, so I'll take that off the ticker. And then we will be good to go. So who is this box going to be for? Also, if you're not familiar with my style of hosting, a lot of cheesy shit.
What was the second box?
Oh, yeah, that's right. My apologies. We also have a single coming up next. Thank you for the reminder. So 4 is taken off. And now we're going to hit the double figures a little bit here. We're going to go with box 11.
Well, 11 is not there. The closest will be 17.
17, damn. Okay,
Yeah,
so
4
and
17 for this double.
Fantastic. And while you guys can see 23 boxes have already been called, but I can totally understand why this is the series we're starting off with. 6 headliners, 7 boxes, 6 golden tickets left with 7 boxes. And how about these elite headliners? Jamar Chase jersey, Randy Moss authentic with the team that he set the single season touchdown record with, and Chinmay's former GOAT of catching footballs, Davante Adams. A team that he once led the league in touchdowns in. But you know what? He did that with 2 other franchises as well. Well on his way to having a Hall of Fame career. The biggest question is, who is he going to go into the Hall with?
He's going in with the Pack unless he wins a Super Bowl with the Rams. Then I think he could go in with the Rams.
Probably a perfect assessment of how Davante's going to go. Who knows if Davante's tuning in? It is the offseason, mind you. Maybe he's tuning in. He's like, you know what? That Chinmay guy's making a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So box number 4, again, for how things are shaken down, the golden tickets would go to Kathleen in either spot. Randy Moss would actually end up with Jill, which is awesome for a sniper spot there. Dan would also get Davante Adams, and then LaShawn McCoy and Jamar Chase would land in Kathleen's possession. So everybody is viable for a headliner here to go start it off. But
something's cooking here.
I will say that undoubtedly this is going to go to somebody who bought 6 out of the 8 spots in this divisional break. We're going to head to the north of the AFC. What a way to get us started off here on a Saturday morning. Hopefully Kathleen has wiped the eye boogers out of her eyes so she can see this beautiful football that is going to represent, of course, 3 lovely golden tickets. Let's go, Kathleen. Great start, my friend. This is going to be an AFC North hit.
Yep.
Anytime that you folks see a football that appears in front of your very eyes, that can only mean one thing. These beautiful things right here. So again, if you're trying to figure out why these have so much value, our regulars here, this has become the newest chase in every single series, Chinmay.
Yeah. The golden tickets are where you are what you need to get into the locker to redeem the unique, exclusive, one-of-a-kind, special memorabilia. And you can go in there, check out what's in the locker, see for yourself all the great stuff there. I saw there was a LaDainian Tomlinson speed flex in there that I really liked, and LaDainian Tomlinson is available for 3 golden tickets.
Yeah.
So even if you get 3 golden tickets, you know, it might not put you in the running for the Jordan picture, but you can still get some pretty great items even with 3 golden tickets. So until such time as there's a chocolate river running around here, we will have to settle for the memorabilia in the locker as your golden ticket redemption.
Keep the faith alive, though. We might just decide to add a chocolate river.
I'm holding out hope.
Well, if my calculations are correct here, it seems like Kathleen once again is going to find her way closer and closer and closer to getting that proverbial chocolate river, because this might be a first for this football. How about the Fly Eagles Fly, right? This is a beautifully designed football right there. So that's going to be an NFC East hit. Absolutely beautiful. Kathleen did the damn thing. This is why you buy out as many doubles as possible, guys. Only 6 golden tickets were left. She has claimed all 6 of them for our first 2 boxes of the morning. What a job by KB. Way to go, Kathleen. That is phenomenal. Woo! Way to go, girl. That is amazing. Good morning, Tesla. I think I remember, Tess from yesterday, also known as On and in the chat. What's going on, Tess? Good morning to you, my friend. And This has got to be my girl Karen Valentine saying someone asked me to send them an email last night to think about trading. Good morning, Karen. Look.
Depends on what you're trying to trade. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So were you talking about trading something in show or trading something IRL? Now, Karen, excuse me, I am not, Chimmy and I are not liable to send out people's emails unless we have their consent, obviously. I think you'd understand why that is the case. But either way, hopefully that person that you're looking to trade with, if you remember who that is, feel free to let us know. Yeah. They'll probably pop in at some point during the program today. So, well, you want to talk about getting off to I don't want to, put too much fire under her and say a historic start, but I'll be honest, dude. I can't really remember since we've done the golden tickets where we've opened up with back-to-back golden tickets to start a show.
We've done that either. And Kathleen's not done yet because she has the single.
So, I'm not, are you trying to spell E-more or is it really E-M-I-R? I'm not familiar with who that could be unless that's the person's username that was talking in the chat, truth be told. So hopefully that person does pop in here at some point. So, even if that was the case, Karen, unfortunately, like I said, we're not able to give out an email unless the person is okay to do so. Kathleen, she said, thank you. I understand you can't give out that info. I was hoping he would see it. I'm sure that person will end up popping back around this morning. Yeah. So I showed up for the Robbie show last night at midnight. It was a good time.
Yep. Yeah. The Midnight Maniacs were out and about.
So, yeah, Robbie and Frankie always know how to electrify things in the break room. So, Kathleen, I think this goes without saying, Kathleen, if you're out there this morning, John's giving you 2 thumbs up saying amazing. How much more damage can you do? Now we're basically only left with helmets and jerseys for that Jamar Chase.
You picked up the golden ticket, so now go grab, the Randy Moss or Devontae Adams helmet.
So one number for Move the Chains, this is going to be the single number 6 for what we have here. And hey, right on cue. Hi, good morning. I think you're underselling how your morning is starting off.
It's been a great morning.
A great morning. A historic morning, some might say. Kathleen, good morning to you, my friend. Before the waffles even popped out of the toaster yet, she's already got 6 golden tickets, which, by the way, you and I kind of hinted at. What you can get in the locker, well, you can get some of the best for 6 golden tickets. I was taking a look at that.
You can get multiple items, right? You can go 3 and 3. So yeah, you can get multiple items. So I think 3 golden tickets is pretty much the minimum for anything in there. I don't think there's any items in the locker that are less than 3 golden tickets. But 3 golden tickets can get you some pretty cool stuff. So you could get multiple items with those 6. Or you can save up for that Jordan poster, which still hasn't been claimed.
Yeah, somehow, some way. And again, Kathleen, not sure what your golden ticket balance is at. But at the second that somebody hits 23.
We can also, I can also just take a look.
100%.
Take a peek real quick. And I'm not, not going to give out anyone's exact golden ticket balances. But I'm seeing, so there's a couple people who are close to that 23 mark. But no one is actually at 23. So there's a couple people who are close, but no one is actually at 23 golden tickets.
So again, we still have 13 of them in the Gold Jacket series as well. So we'll see how this goes. By the way, Kathleen, I'm just going to make things simpler. I'm going to go with the picker wheel for you because there should be 5 boxes unless we can do a ticker check when Chinmay grabs that box for us here in a second. Just so I am pretty sure.
Yeah, there's 5.
There should be 5, right? Yeah. After that double? Okay,
2,
fantastic.
18, 25, 28, and 29.
Yep, all good to go, my friends. So, all those numbers are correct. Kathleen said, I'm a wheel spin person. Well, whatever has happened with you this morning, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it looks like this will be close, actually. Yeah, that sliver is going to stay on the Adrian Peterson number. We are going to rock 28. Now, there is still only 1 hidden gem left, and I do have good news to report out there. I think you guys like, brand new series, right? I don't know who wouldn't. Mm-hmm. Thanks, big dog. Appreciate it. Speaking of big. Let's see here. This feels a little on the heftier side. There, I can promise you there's no golden tickets in this one, Kathleen. But there is a brand new series that is right around the corner that Chinmay and I can drop for you folks once this Move the Chains is done. So, we are going to have ourselves a 3-time winner to start off the morning show, guys. So, we know who the winner is going to be. The only question is, what is she going to be winning? So, Kathleen, just an amazing start. You're going to have 6 golden tickets, and what helmet is going to be getting sent to your address starting Monday. We do a lot of great things here, but we do have to have our shipping department at least get a couple days off.
Yeah, you don't want us shipping these things out. Let the professionals do it.
Speaking of getting a few days off, this guy did not miss a singular game last year for this franchise. If he did, he probably wouldn't have led the league in touchdowns scored for the 3rd time in his illustrious future Hall of Fame career. It's time, Devontae Adams.
He did miss some games.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, he had that hamstring injury late in the year. I think he missed the last 2 games of the year, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that's how damn good he is. He still missed time.
Yeah,
you are right. Yeah, 1,000% for Devontae Adams. But regardless, led the league in touchdowns scored. Catapulted himself, I should say, in the top 10 receiving touchdowns of all time category. Big round of applause for Kathleen, guys. Who's ready for the Hall of Fame ceremony?
Hall of Fame ceremony is today.
Yep. No doubt about that. That should be incredibly cool. So I'm trying to think of who is a part of this class. I know Drew Brees is part of the 2026. I would love it if we have somebody in the break room now or maybe around the corner if we drop a new series that's a part of this class. Do you happen to know off the top of your head, Chinmay, who was in this class?
Yeah, Luke Kuechly, Larry Fitzgerald, Drew Brees.
Oh, yeah, Fitz, yeah.
There's a couple more. I don't remember who. Rob, you may end up seeing what you may think you're gonna see double here, but you're not. Oh. We're actually just gonna end up running basically the same break again.
Oh, all right.
Kathleen has decided that she is going to once again buy out a Move the Chains series.
Woo! Kathleen, big dog in the chat. Woo! That is amazing. John is saying Adam Vinatieri. Guys, I will say here in the break room, we do have a bias. If you are here for kickers and punters, they're very few and far between. Look, I have been begging for myself. I've been begging for a Morton Anderson for the longest time. But Adam Vinatieri, obviously, he helped the Patriots literally win playoff games back in the day. So Vinatieri, arguably the greatest kicker of all time. That's a great class. Brees, Fitz, Vinatieri. That is a really, really cool class.
Roger Craig is also in the class.
Wow.
Roger Craig, another break room regular.
Long overdue.
Yeah.
Roger Craig. So that is really cool, man.
His jacket ceremony was hilarious because I think like Ronnie Lott showed up to give him the jacket too, and he was just like, "Oh, Ronnie, what's up?" Like, yeah, it was very good. Some of the the golden jacket ceremonies, like the presentations have been very funny.
Yeah, I know that's. I know Sean Payton is going to be introducing Drew Brees from what I saw. I think Randy Moss, who, by the way, we might see him right now, is introducing Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
From what I saw, so that'll be really, really cool. I literally copy and pasted what I just sent to Kathleen in the chat. So changing that 6 to a 7. No, I'm not doing any dumb 6-7 stuff, guys. Sorry, this is not the show for that. Yeah, Karen said I won't be on my family. This is coming from Columbus to help move out my storage unit into our new 600-foot basement we just put on a first floor master bedroom. That's awesome. So Karen, for myself, I'm going to be in the furniture moving process, and yeah, all yours. Let the box disappear. It's like, damn, you got that out of here quick. Karen, enjoy that so I don't keep falling down the stairs. Well, I hope that's not a consistent problem for you, my friend. That is not enjoyable, but I do have good news for you. As we're going to do the wheel picker number 1 for Kathleen here in a second. I do want to just show you this, Karen, since you don't have as much time with us as you'd like. That Jerome Bettis is still alive. Hopefully this is the one you are referring to, my friend. A gorgeous lunar speed flex. We don't get this a whole lot on Jerome Bettis. We get Jerome all the time, but this is a unique piece of memorabilia. This is all that is still remaining in that gold jacket series. So we got 4 boxes left. Let's see what the picker wheel is going to land for Kathleen. Hard to do much better than what she's already done, folks. So we're going from 28 to 29.
Okay.
28 to 29, that is finito there, so congrats. Kathleen said, I feel like we're a little too old for 6'7". Yeah, look, like, guys, there's a lot of trends, especially when I was a young lad back in the day. Like, look, I was a big fan of the Harlem Shake. That was one of my favorite things. But I think the trend that really kind of, like, killed me on the inside when when Gangnam Style got going, and, like, I was in 8th grade when that was going on, and that was just, that kind of killed it for me. So, one trend that is never going to go out of style, though, is breaking the best memorabilia in the biz. So 6 golden tickets, Davante Adams, and how can Kathleen improve her morning even more? We're about to find out. Morning team. Speaking of Tay time,
yeah,
we got Taylor joining us. So there you go.
Taylor, what's on the menu today?
Almost like it was Top Chef. I actually decided not to eat breakfast this morning for Taylor's arrival.
I did have some breakfast in the form of cosmic brownies.
Oh,
yeah.
Did that happen to be a UA special?
UA special. UA special.
All right, you might have to take
UA
over.
special.
Chocolate chip pancakes and grapes. That is an elite combination.
Great combination. We'll do the break and then I'll say what I was going to say.
Save the best things for last.
Yeah.
I literally just mentioned this. Now, Taylor's breakfast, chocolate chip pancakes and grapes. That is a really, really elite combination to beat. However, close your eyes and imagine this future scenario. Davante Adams is lined up on the left side of the field, and the guy who broke the single-season record for touchdowns in a one-season span. Imagine this guy teaming up with Davante Adams back in his heyday. It's Randy Moss, ladies and gentlemen. One of the greatest to ever do it on a rare situation where he's not on the team that he went to the Hall of Fame with, but the team that he probably had his best season with ever. The New England Patriots. Kathleen, she can't stop getting headliners. 6 golden tickets, Davante Adams and Randy Moss. Can you believe this, Chinmay? What a start.
Woohoo! Insane stuff. And obviously Randy Moss, one of the all-time greats, if not the all-time great wide receiver in NFL history. You can argue Jerry Rice, but maybe in terms of ceiling, it could be Randy Moss, who ultimately gets that number 1 spot there. So great start this morning for Kathleen, picking up all the golden tickets, then picking up Davante Adams and Randy Moss, 2 guys who either are in the Hall of Fame or will be in the Hall of Fame. Randy Moss, a big what if as far as Packers goes.
Yeah.
What could have been with the Green Bay Packers, but one of the all-time greats, and definitely don't miss seeing him on the other side of Green Bay quarterbacks.
Yeah, whether it was the NFC, the AFC, even his brief tenure with the Raiders, which was a forgettable one for him. Randy Moss, one of the greatest of all time. I mean, you can literally make a case if you had to take a number 1 guy to throw to for one season. He is definitely in that inner circle of conversation. So, again, we'll see him during the Hall of Fame speeches today, welcoming in Larry Fitzgerald, who, in my opinion, is the most underrated wide receiver of all time. One of the best postseason performers, period, in NFL history.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have to remind you of that when the Cardinals and Packers faced off in the postseason. Ooh. So, again, awesome stuff for Kathleen. She said she got exactly what she wanted. Look, we are not miracle workers here at Ultimate Autographs.
For sure.
As much as sometimes we'd like to consider ourselves that. But it really warms my heart when we can get you folks exactly what you're buying into the breaks for. So, Kathleen, who's going to compete with her is the real question.
It looks like Karen is. We've got the Golden Jacket double mixer, double break going here.
Awesome. So keep it going, especially with the flower power. I love to see this. Absolutely awesome dominance from our wonderful breakettes this morning. Keep it going, ladies. Is that an all Karen Johnson?
It is not. It is not.
Okay.
There is somebody else in there.
Awesome.
As I find this golden jacket.
Very, very cool. And that golden jacket, again, as Chinmay is going to get that ready, in the blink of an eye here, I do want to just show you folks, since this is our first switch up of series. By the way, thanks to Karen for closing that out, because that will get us into the chase wheel spin here at the end of the show. But again, I kind of just showed this off a couple of moments ago. I can understand why you get into the double up, because that is a premier option. We have ourselves a triple up with Favre, Johnson, and Moss in that NFC North. Karen, I have to know, are you a Bettis fan, since you're asking about that? I'd have to assume that you are. Again, hopefully the ball bounces your direction here. So that is all set up. Golden Jacket double number 4. So we have, this is a new name, to say the least. Is this Gregum Wyckoff and then Karen Valentine? So it's going to be 2 numbers here for the Golden Jackets. Jackets double number 4. So that'll be between Karen and Gregum. Now, again, my son is. Okay, awesome. That is very, very cool, Karen. Again, hopefully the ball bounces your direction. 22 boxes, 12 headliners, 13 golden tickets. Now, why do we have so many, Chinmay? If you win an item that is not a photographed headliner, then you receive one golden ticket.
Yeah.
And again, we got 10 of those. Actually, I'll take that back, because you also got to throw in the 3 secondaries as well. Mm-hmm. So more golden tickets, more fun. Yep. So I'll randomize you folks 6 times around. Again, by the time that I am done doing this, folks, let's see what we got here. I will go back to the wheel. It's been a wheel of fun this morning so far to start off. So, Karen, you will have that AFC North spot if Jerome Bettis is pulled. You have every spot, as a matter of fact, except for Gregum in that AFC West. So in terms of talking about headliners here, well, here's the good thing. Well, you have Chinmay's lost father and LaDainian Tomlinson out there, so that'll be an elite hit. And potential.
I think elder brother is better.
Elder brother. Oh, okay, that's fine.
I don't think
that's fine too.
Let's see.
Let's see the.
Let's see the age difference.
I think we can make it work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the what's 41?
He's 47.
47.
Yeah,
okay,
I think father is a little bit pushing it.
They had the show Teen Mom. It could be Teen Dad. We can make that work as well.
Man.
Not saying we promote that. But for Gregum, though, you have potentially Champ Bailey, Antonio Gates, or LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yeah, you could do the charge. I mean, Antonio Gates is most likely going to be on a Charger, so we could do Antonio Gates LT on the double up potentially in that Stiper spot. But otherwise, yeah, Karen is looking good here with 7 of the 8 spots.
No doubt about it. So haven't heard any numbers that say okay. So this is out of 30 as well, I believe. Okay, awesome. So that is where we are going to go. Second wheel double up we'll have this morning, and we're going to go right back to where we started. We started on 1. We're going to land on 1. You know what, Karen? Because you bought 7 out of the 8 spots. Normally I don't do this when the wheel has spun, but I will let that be the other numbers. So do we have 1 and 15?
1 and 15.
Okay, Karen, that is totally fine. We will do 1 and 15. And again, I'll make a little exception here. So that is A-okay. So hopefully you folks are enjoying yourself again with the lovely, lovely voices of Chinmay and I to get you folks started on your Saturday morning. We already got a look into what Karen's Saturday is going to look like, moving some things around in her home. Don't be shy. Feel free to let Chinmay and I know. This is an amazing breaking community. We're very friendly here. Nothing but positive vibes. I will warn you folks, if the vibes are not so positive, we do have a timeout corner. I really wish I was kidding on that, by the way. So, not to strike some fear in any of you folks out there, but I'm just saying. So, 1 and 15. Hopefully it is a great, great start for Karen and Gregum. Anytime we have multiple people in a break, I wish I can, I like to give you both of you folks a win here. So, who is going to feel like number 1 after this break? And I am so glad that we end up using these bags. This is my favorite material that we have here at UA. It's always a sign that we got a big Bertha coming out. That's a cloth bag, baby.
Cloth bag is good. Cloth bag is good.
So it looks like for the 5th consecutive break, Chinmay, we're going to have a headliner to kick ourselves off on this lovely morning show. The only question is, where are we going to be taking our talents? Well, if you can remember, LeBron James took his talents down to South Beach. This guy, he's not geographically as far south as this player played almost his entire career. But we are going to go to a Southern Division, Chinmay, And he started his career off here, the former Tennessee Volunteer, former number 1 overall pick back in the, I believe, 1998 NFL Draft. 5-time regular season MVP, 2-time Super Bowl champ. It's the Sheriff, baby. Get ready to holster this in your collection, Karen. This is a beautiful Peyton Manning authentic. Woohoo!
Peyton, we see a lot on Colts. We see a lot on Broncos. Can go either way with Peyton Manning. Won a Super Bowl with each team there. Again, Broncos Super Bowl, they might have been carried by that defense a little bit. But with the Colts, obviously, plenty of MVP seasons. Finally broke through, won a Super Bowl. People in the Chicagoland area don't like talking about it that much. But a great performance that season from Peyton Manning, who just unfortunately had to go up against Tom Brady for most of his career. That's really what prevented him from winning a few more Super Bowls.
Yeah, if there was ever a guy that you cannot hang your head in shame about picking up some L's against, it was Peyton Manning. Now, Peyton, of course, he had to overcome some early playoff demons in his career, but once he got over that hump in 2006 against the Bears, really, finally getting Brady in the AFC Championship game that year, that almost kind of felt like his own personal Super Bowl that he won. So, kind of like the all-time greats, obviously well documented, Michael Jordan, who's in that locker, had to overcome the Detroit Pistons for multiple years. Yeah. Sometimes those all-time greats, they have that roadblock early in the career that they got to overcome.
I think really every all-time great has that, probably except for Tom Brady is probably the only one that I think. Tom Brady and Magic Johnson are the two that I think of who won very early in their career and then didn't really stop winning. Tim Duncan is another one.
Yeah, Duncan's another great comparison for sure. You could also bring Kobe Bryant into that fold. But even Kobe, obviously.
Kobe and Shaq had their struggles.
They did.
For 4 or 5 seasons, they didn't really win much. And Shaq obviously had his struggles with Orlando as well. They went to a final but didn't win it.
Correct.
I think only really Magic, Duncan, and Tom Brady are probably the only ones who won early in their career and then just kept winning.
Pretty damn good inner circle to get us started off. So 5 breaks, 5 headliners.
Imagine this offense right here.
Peyton
Manning, Randy Moss, and Devontae
Adams. Yeah. That's a pretty good Madden fantasy draft simulation to get ourselves started. So Karen and Kathleen.
Now let's add LT to it.
The K's getting ourselves started. Well,
let's add LaDainian to it, and we can.
I will say we are not going to get you LaDainian Tomlinson unless the boys.
Unless they pack the authentic. Maybe just for me they put
just
it
for you.
Put it in the cloth bag.
There's going to be the name of the player and a little note to Chinmay in here. Be like, save this for the Saturday morning show. Again, this looks like we're going to get ourselves a very, very beautiful double up. This is why we play in the UA Live break room. Again, maybe I am wrong. I'm usually wrong a lot outside of this break room, but in here, I like to think I'm on top of things most of the time. But we said that we are miracle workers early on in the show. But today, sometimes if you believe hard enough, even with a 1 in 21 chance, you can get what you're looking for. Karen, hopefully your son is tuning in with the show this morning. All aboard the bus. She got what she was looking for her kiddo.
Woo!
Lunar Speed Flex for Jerome Bettis. Keep adding on to this legendary offense. Now we got our starting running back, top 10 all-time in rushing yards and touchdowns in NFL history. Unbelievable pull right here. I believe a one-time Super Bowl champion.
Yep.
I believe he was on that
last
05.
game. Last game of
his NFL career. Went out on top. Again, can't say that you could do much better. 2 of the most iconic offensive players of the AFC in the 2000s. Karen's got him back-to-back.
We get a lot of Jerome Bettis memorabilia.
Thank you.
I don't believe I have ever seen a Jerome Bettis like that. Visor and the Lunar Speed Flex. Congratulations, Karen. Obviously, your son is a big Jerome Bettis fan, so hopefully he's happy. And we've got a pretty great offensive core here with Jerome Bettis slotting in as our running back.
Yeah, I mean, now we're just, maybe we got to pick up at Anthony Munoz.
This is our personal Hall of Fame here.
It honestly doesn't get much better than this. I mean, we can add, look, we got a we might have to start building a different offense here.
We
at
might
some point.
today, because it's a Hall of Fame ceremony today. We might only be pulling Hall of Famers.
If we literally,
We started with essentially Devontae Adams will be in the Hall of Fame.
He'll get there.
We just don't know which team will be. He will be in the Hall of Fame. So let's see. I mean, Brett Favre is still there. Kurt Warner is still there. Emmitt Smith, Calvin Johnson, LaDainian Tomlinson, Ray Lewis, Champ Bailey, Antonio. So we've got everyone in the gold jacket pretty much on the headliners section is at least a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I'm sure the hidden gems, there's some Hall of Famers in there too. So in honor of the Hall of Fame ceremony, we might only be pulling Hall of Famers today. Which I'm totally okay with.
Yeah, and I'm sure everybody that just heard that out there is probably snapping back to their TVs right now or their monitors, whatever you might be watching on, and be like, oh, only Hall of Famers today? Yeah, I got to whip out the pocketbooks and get going. We just had our payday a few days ago. Hopefully you guys had your payday this week as well. There is no better investment for diehard sports fans like yourselves out there than playing here in the break room. And again, the proof is literally in the pudding. The Adams, Moss, Manning, and Bettis pudding that we got here for you, the guys, this morning.
Yeah.
Or the golden ticket pudding as well. So, again, we can finally get ourselves into a rundown. We're 40 minutes into the show.
Before you do the rundown.
Oh, God, here we go again.
I do want to talk about the chocolate chip pancakes and grapes comment. It's a very...
By all means.
It's a great combination. I like both. Chocolate chip pancakes and grapes. And consume both, maybe not at the same time, but consume both from time to time. So, this was way back when. I was getting lunch from the cafeteria, not way back when I was working.
Okay.
The office. I was getting lunch from the cafeteria, and I took it back to my desk, and I had gotten a salad, but then I'd also gotten a bag of chips. Again, very oxymoronic, but for those who know me, the chips are a non-negotiable, and so
yeah, this is true.
So that was a thing that I had to get. And my manager at the time was just like, oh, Chinmay, we're not ones to judge here, but very interesting combination there with the salad and the chips. And I had to explain to her, the chips are pretty much a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
So I get you with the contrast of the chocolate chip pancakes and the grapes. I understand it. Sometimes you just gotta go in opposite directions there.
Yeah, there's this. I'll get to you there in a second. Humble Trader Trav. Trav is my name. Kind of looks like Travis there with an uppercase I.
Yeah.
But Humble Trader Trav is my name. Golden tickets will eventually be your game here in a second, Trav.
Yeah.
Just want to address
say that handle 5 times
fast. I'd really rather not. Even though the Celsius might help me get there, I don't want to plan on trying to do that. But on the whole chocolate chip pancakes and grapes controversy here, I think, remind me again, how old are you?
32.
After 32 years of life, or for anybody out there that's developed their taste buds as it goes along, you have your things that you got to get used to and go with.
Yeah.
So, like for me, all the time, anytime that I have broccoli, I have to have cheese with it.
Okay.
Like I always have to have, whether it's melted or just something on the side. That is or also just my family would always say that this is an Irish thing, but I put ketchup on a disgusting amount of things. Like I'm not going to go as far as to say I don't eat eggs at all. Like eggs are a non-negotiable for me. That's,
okay.
Unless it's mixed in fried rice or something very
small.
small.
Yeah.
It's mostly the smell of eggs for me, but I would put ketchup on the most randomest things.
Yeah.
So, we all have our own things, but chips are a non-negotiable. Getting the breaks is also a non-negotiable as well for you guys here this morning. So, Trav, addressing your comment, my friend, I don't think there's a better time to go in and talk about what we got available for you guys in the locker. So, the locker and the golden tickets go hand in hand, my friends. So, the golden tickets basically get you into what we call the locker. I'll drop links for all these things here in just a moment. You can read up on that, my friend, as well. Are you able to access the locker over there through the link?
Yeah.
Right now, it's kind of putting me on over here. So, what we got for you here, Trav, is the golden tickets. I'll read this out to you here in just a second. My apologies. Things are moving at a very snail-like pace here on the good old
So
the good old internet.
If you
this
click
morning.
on that link,
yeah,
you will have access to the locker. Now, if you can't see anything in the locker, there are only 2 reasons for that. One, you're not signed into your UA account. If you're not signed into your UA account, you're not going to see anything in there. The the other reason would be that you have not hit what we call practice collector status. It may seem tough to get to, but we'll tell you, practice squad collector status is very easy to get to if you go through some of the mechanics. So if you're not signed into your UA account and you don't have practice squad collector status, you're probably not going to see anything in that locker. But if you do have both of those, you'll see all of our exclusive, one-of-a-kind, unique memorabilia, mostly speed flexes, but there is some other options in there, like that Michael Jordan frame photograph that we have been talking about, and I'm sure Rob will be able to show that for you guys on the screen in a little bit. But that is what the golden tickets will help you redeem. So the difference there in the locker versus getting items here on the break page is that once you have those golden tickets, you don't need to go to the break room, right? You don't need to worry about the randomizer. Mm-hmm. You don't need to worry about picking the right box. Now, in Karen's case, she happened to pick the right box with 15 and be in the right spot. Oh. But if she was in the locker, she could just see the Jerome Bettis in there and then claim it if she had that amount of golden tickets, whatever amount of golden tickets it would be worth. Wow. So that's what the benefit of the locker is. And to get to practice squad collector status, I think it's like 7,500 points in the rewards club. You may think that's a lot. It's quite a bit, but it's 25 points per dollar spent. So it's about $250, $300 to spend to get into that practice squad collector status. But we calculated it. If you create an account, follow us on every social media platform, and sign up for text alerts, you will knock out a little over 20% of the points needed. It's like 1,700 points or something if you do all that, or 1,750, which is a little more than 20% of the points needed. So really, it's closer to like $200 if you sign up for all that stuff, and that's all free. You don't need to pay for all that stuff. So you buy like one double break spot in this gold jacket. That's $244, and then you sign up for all the other stuff. That's pretty much how you get in that practice squad status right there.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, I could basically show. Yeah, there you go, Trav. I made my handle so I can see my name in drawings online. You nailed it, by the way.
All right, perfect. Yeah. Perfect.
Hey, there you go.
Perfect.
Okay.
Awesome.
Awesome. So yeah,
just wanted to make sure,
no, for sure.
Like sometimes new people come in, like say, what's the golden tickets for? And then like the page is blank and it's like, all right, well, there's a reason for the page being blank. We promise there is something there, but there are a couple hoops.
Well, Chinmay covered that flawlessly, so not too much of a reason for why I got to go through this description. However, he did mention that Michael Jordan. You can take a look at this really quick, my friend. 23 golden tickets, the most valuable thing that we have here in the entire locker. And MJ, by the way, now MJ is a very, very hard signature to get, but for whatever reason,
we had these ready to go.
Yeah,
we had these ready to go. We did back to back to back.
Yeah,
here.
3 straight appearances in the locker. And for those that tune into that historic night on Thursday for the Holy Grail, we had him on one of his own signature shoes, one of his newer line of shoe models that he's come out with, a Jordan brand shoe that was signed by him. That I've never seen before. We've only really seen him on basketballs, photos. Again, we do get Jordan for whatever reason lately. I don't know how you can't be a fan of MJ, whether you like the Bulls, MJ or not. His signature alone is one of the most valuable signatures on planet Earth for an athlete. You might say it is the most valuable.
I think it is for 2 reasons. One, there's obviously the aura around Michael Jordan and the greatness that he had. I rewatched Air the other day.
Really good movie.
Yeah,
shout out Matt
very
Damon.
awesome.
Shout out Matt Damon.
Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, very, very well done.
Yeah.
So that's number 1. Number 2, when we often try to look up price points for certain items, because people wonder, what would this memorabilia be worth just on its own, straight up, like not going through the breaks, how much it would cost. For the Jordan stuff, you could tell me any number and I would believe you. It's really that wide of a range. I saw because I was looking it up the last time we had Michael Jordan on the jersey. There was a game-worn Michael Jordan jersey that was not autographed. Just the game-worn jersey, not autographed by Michael Jordan, that auctioned off for $4.68 million.
Yeah. Million.
$million dollars.
With an M.
So, and that was not even signed. So it really is a huge range, but I think 5 figures minimum is basically any Jordan signature.
Yeah, I mean, look, even if you're somebody that wasn't able to, this is why we record things, have numbers and stats and books and, obviously, movies and documentaries, even if you and I, really didn't live through that Jordan era necessarily, we kind of just caught the very, very tail end of it, when we were little toddlers and infants. But, MJ, like you said, his aura. But again, the reason why, if you think about the current NBA players, the best in the league, the best in the world, Giannis, Shea, Luka, Jokic, players of that caliber, every player I just named was born outside of the United States. The international impact because of the Dream Team that he was clearly the head snake of, even with other historic players in Barkley and Bird and Magic and Malone and, the list goes on and on with those guys. He was clearly the head of the snake, and the impact that they had overseas. It was the first time that we ever had pro sports that impacted things outside of the United States to that magnitude. And those players, you can really go as far as to say if that Dream Team did not exist, would those players currently be in the NBA?
Who knows?
Would their career and athletic path translate to the NBA? Because in very few sports at the time in a lot of countries was basketball towards the top of the food chain in those sports, right? So again, just an abundance of different things, and now I really want to watch The Last Dance again, talking about this, which is the fun part of it. But anyways, that's not the only thing in the locker, of course. Chinmay and I will whip our heads back around and talk about some other items. But for you to get golden tickets, Trav, and everybody else out there, only NFL stuff in the locker except for MJ, correct, as of right now?
At the moment, yes.
Yes.
At the moment, yes. I think once we start getting into September and October, we could see some baseball stuff. We could see some hockey stuff. Patrick Kane is back with the Blackhawks, and we've had Patrick Kane on a hockey puck before, so it's possible we could see Patrick Kane in there. Bradley Williams in the chat talking about some big names that he's got, jerseys for sale as well.
What's up, B. Willie?
I'm sure, Wayne Gretzky, maybe we may have some Gretzky stuff lying around that could be in the locker. We had Ohtani in the Holy Grail, so I'm sure there's some cool Ohtani stuff that might be in the locker. Maybe a bet slip from Ohtani could be signed at some point. So we'll see what other stuff outside of NFL and MJ is in the locker. But for now, mostly NFL and MJ. There could actually be some college stuff too. I saw there was an Emeka Egbuka ripped up college speed flex with Ohio State and Tampa Bay. So there could be some college stuff in there too once college football rolls around.
Yeah, the All Bucks speed flex for Egbuka. So really, really cool stuff there. And again, an abundance of stuff. Chinmay was nice enough to drop that link, Trav, where it says the locker. Click that link. That'll take you straight there. And of course, you have an account. You have the points. So no reason why you can't get in there. Just make sure you're signed into your account, obviously, so there's no confusion for that. So if you want to get yourself the easiest possible access to the locker, which, by the way, we only have it on sometimes rare occasions, but we have had items, a Shaquille O'Neal jersey and a Nick Kurtz bat, the superstar first baseman for the A's, that only take one golden ticket to acquire those. So as of right now, we don't have any items there. But the biggest thing about the locker the last number of weeks, as soon as something goes down, something else steps up in its place. Now, it's not necessarily an apples for apples. Only players like really Brady, Mahomes, and lately Michael Jordan, the upper echelon guys, we replace those with, their names. But again, if we end up getting an Emeka Egbuka, we'll probably replace it with a different wide receiver. Just to kind of fill in for its place. So again, those things go very, very quickly. I remember I counted yesterday. There was 9 items that were claimed by the time I left after the 3 o'clock show yesterday. So they were flying off the shelves. Now, if you want the easiest way for you folks to get into some golden tickets, well, you saw Kathleen Brulette. She gobbled all the ones up and moved the chains. I'll circle back around to that. We still have Jamar Chase and LaShawn McCoy. Do yourselves a favor, please. We do have a brand new series for you folks. Another mixer waiting in the wings.
So that single and double that are there, that's it, right? Those are the last 3 boxes in the series. And once we take those out, we could get a brand new series, brand new headliners, brand new golden ticket opportunities for folks.
Yeah, and this is the easiest way. Look, no great things in this life are easy, but this genuinely is the easiest way to get into this. So we have 10 headliners left, 13 golden tickets. I'll tell you how easy this is, guys. So we have 10 hidden gems, right? And for the cool thing in this series, as I've mentioned a few times, you get one golden ticket for every hidden gem. So it's 10 of them right there. However, technically it's 13 because it's non-photoed headliners. So Ray Lewis, Champ Bailey, and Antonio Gates. You can get any one of those 3 Hall of Fame players and a golden ticket to go alongside with it. So talking about the photoed headliners we have 3 players in that NFC North that we know of that are all going to go together in the same division. One of the greatest of all time. And not just that, but an MVP inscription for the great Brett Favre, the gunslinger. You know, men wanted to be like him, women wanted to be with him. I say that for Troy Aikman, and I say that for Brett Favre. Probably the 2 most popular quarterbacks of the 1990s or late 1980s as well for Troy Aikman. Brett Favre, a guy who, for whatever reason, Atlanta said, "Hey, buddy, you can fly the coop." After I think it was either his rookie season or his sophomore season.
I think he was in his sophomore season when he got dealt.
Yeah, so after his rookie season, which I think he only attempted like 2 passes, I think, after his rookie year, and then went on to win.
No, it was his rookie season.
It was his rookie season.
Yeah.
Perfect. So
four passing attempts, 2 of which were interceptions.
Yeah. So not the greatest first impression.
Classic Brett Favre start.
Yeah, but also don't judge a book by its cover, right?
Yeah.
I mean, 4 passes, kind of a limited thing to get into. One of my all-time favorite sports adages, and I know, guys, shocker, I have gone a full hour without mentioning a White Sox anecdote here, so bear with me. But Robin Ventura, Hall of very good third baseman, a guy that started off 0 for 29 to start off his big league career, was the best hitter. And you could argue he is still to this day one of the best hitters in college baseball history. Again, went on to have a borderline Hall of Fame career after starting off with a long drought. So Brett Favre, a perfect encapsulation of that, goes on to win a Super Bowl and MVP as well for the Packers, one of the greatest of all time. Speaking of, you can see in the description here, an alternate 2024 authentic for the great Calvin Johnson, a guy that had a near 2,000-yard season in the 2012 season for the great Megatron and Calvin Johnson. Peak for peak, one of the greatest of all time. It's been a while since I've been on here, says Trav. Single versus quad is you pull 1 winner versus 4 at the quad. 4 chances to win. Is Urlacher still in there? All amazing questions. You are 100% right. A single, you only get 1 bite of the apple with 1 box. Quad being 4 as well. And obviously the double being 2.
Yeah. You could win multiple times in the quad and double, obviously. The single, you can only win 1 potential item. The Urlacher is still in that gold jacket, right? The Urlacher is still available?
No, he is not.
No, Urlacher is not available.
He is not, unfortunately. But
Urlacher is not available. But if you are looking for that Urlacher, you could potentially end up with a different helmet and then try to trade with whoever does have the Urlacher. Or somebody else might have a Brian Urlacher helmet out there where you win a couple items here and you negotiate a trade with one. So
for sure,
that's the other thing that you can do. You know, you see something that you don't necessarily like, but you know that it was there at some point because it was in the picture.
Yeah.
You could say, let me grab a few things, and then I can see and negotiate with the person who ultimately did win that Urlacher.
Yeah, 100%. That's a great point to make there, dude. So, I mean, even if you, again, the only way that we can facilitate a trade for you in this show is if you end up winning something in this show and you want to move it for somebody else. But if somebody else is in the chat listening right now that's like, oh, yeah, I have an Urlacher that I wouldn't mind trading or moving off. Trav, if you have a PC and both of you folks consent to it, you and whoever else might be interested in a trade out there, I can drop one or both emails, or in this case, Chinmay Wood on the producer side. He can drop the emails for you, and you guys can get conversating on that. So, again, I'll go to the last NFC North headliner that we do know of, and we already got him on a Patreon on the table. Let's complete the authentic helmet circle here and get the great Randy Moss. Obviously, where he made his namesake with the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
Probably, I think most would consider him the greatest Viking of all time. He's definitely towards the very top end there. Talk about an embarrassment of riches that the Vikings have had over the last 30 years. Chris Carter, Randy Moss, and now Justin Jefferson. You know, even in that in-between era for, you know, probably a decade, you know, before they had Jefferson, after the Moss era, you know, hey, you know, give some respect to Sidney Rice, amongst others.
Stephon Diggs, Adam
Thielen as well. Some great, they've just been absolutely spoiled with wide receivers in their franchise's history, but this guy is at the top of the totem pole. Going back around to the rest of the great headliners we have in the series, guys, the only MVP in Dallas Cowboys franchise history and the all-time leading rusher, the double deuce in the great Emmitt Smith. We get Emmitt Smith more times than we can count. You don't have to be a Cowboys fan to appreciate the greatness. If you want to add running backs to your collection, there's a lot of people that play in here, Chinmay, that like to have every single NFL team.
Yeah.
This is a great break room for doing that because at some point we get all NFL teams that circulate. Even if you don't see your team, by the way, in the photo headliner or what's remaining, do not stray away from that. They are probably in the hidden gems.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind in the hidden gems we get all the time. You know, Dallas Cowboys that we can think of, for example, that are in the hidden gems. Guys like Javonte Williams, for example. George Pickens would probably be a headliner or secondary. I'm just trying to think a guy like Zach Martin.
Yeah.
We got Randy White. As well, I actually pulled him yesterday as a hidden gem for a jersey, which was pretty cool. So again, you know, the possibilities are endless there. Kurt, this is one of my favorites in any series right now. I absolutely adore these retros for the Rams. Again, really, really awesome logo here. We've kind of gone through a cycle of specially designed lids here. Basically, at the start of this year, probably for over the last calendar year plus, the raves were literally all the rave here in the break room for quite a while.
I mean, retro with the visor, like, you can't go wrong there.
Yeah, this is probably the current popular fad that's going on here in the break room. Like Chinmay just said, the retro with the visor. And how about the signature on there? Kurt Warner. The guy went from bagging groceries to bagging opposing defenses in the back of the end zone. Still to this day, in my opinion, I would say the most unlikely Super Bowl winner in NFL history. Replaced Trent Green almost halfway through that historical greatest show on turf season. Took the job and ran with it. Now, shout out to Trent Green. Still went on to have a good career with the Kansas City Chiefs, but obviously Dick Vermeil and company made the right decision. Warner, Marshall Faulk, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, arguably the greatest big four of offensive players in NFL history.
Nearly did it again with your Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
Nearly went back to the Super Bowl and won it again. So he did go back to the Super Bowl, did not win it, unfortunately, but I was rooting for Kurt at that time to win another one. But that offense was pretty darn good too, with Kurt Warner, Anquan Boldin, and Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah. Pretty good big three there. So shout out to Fitz for getting inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame today. That'll be awesome. Unfortunately, we don't see a lot of Fitz sightings. We do get Anquan Boldin, though.
We've seen Anquan Boldin a decent amount. I think I've seen Larry Fitzgerald once.
Yeah. Very
one
rare
Larry
signature.
Fitzgerald that I've seen.
Speaking of that big four, by the way, we might see this more often. For the first time ever on the Holy Grail night on Thursday, we had the quad sign Rams that I just mentioned. A Holt, Bruce, Falk, and Warner. So moving right along here, guys, we have the big bro, Chinmay's big bro here in the break room, as we are now calling him, in the great LaDainian Tomlinson, 2006 NFL MVP. I believe during that season it led to a 14-win campaign, 14-2 season for the San Diego Chargers back then. High-flying offense, Rivers, Tomlinson, Antonio Gates, who's a secondary that we'll talk about briefly in this series. LT, one of the most electrifying players. He's on my Mount Rushmore of running backs. You know, because you got to have a guy or two that you've at least seen play with your own two eyes, in my opinion. If you're a big rankings guy like myself, LaDainian Tomlinson, one of the all-time greats. Andre Johnson, one of the most underrated. Now, he unfortunately caught the quarterback bug of not having the most talented quarterbacks, of tossing him to pigskin. You know, shout out to Matt Schaub, who led the league in passing yards one year, made 2 Pro Bowls. But again, Matt Schaub was the best that he ever had, tossing him to pigskin, and he still finished 11th all-time in receiving yards for Andre Johnson, one of the most underrated players in NFL history. Once we get around to the double trouble mixer as well, we do have him on a football in that double trouble mixer on top of that. Ray Lewis, Champ Bailey, and Antonio Gates, we could have a triple up in that AFC West for this Gold Jacket series. Again, guys, 13 golden tickets. A lot of great headliners. This is one of definitely the series to chase right now. 6 to go in the single, 6 to go in the quad. And we'll get moving here shortly. So,
2 things that I do want to highlight.
Okay.
One, the duality of Brett Favre's career. Set an NFL record for interceptions.
That's fun.
Has an NFL record for fumbles, not fumbles lost, but fumbles in general.
Not great.
So quite kind of careless with the football at times. But also more than 70,000 passing yards in his career and more than 500 touchdowns.
The gunslinger.
So literally the guy who more often than not it worked out, but it also didn't work out a fair amount of time for him.
The ultimate risk-reward player in NFL history, the great Brett Favre, which, by the way, for those that tune in basically every day, haven't seen a whole lot of Brett Favre lately in the break room.
Yeah.
So it's nice to get Favre back in here. So
the second point I wanted to make.
Yeah, go for it, please.
That we talked about the greatest show on turf with Kurt Warner and the Rams, and then talked about how he kind of replicated it with the Cardinals with him, Larry Fitzgerald, and Anquan Boldin. The leading rusher for the Cardinals that year, a guy that we get in the break room a good amount. We've gotten him on Cardinals as well, Edgerrin James.
Yeah.
But Edgerrin James only rushed for a little over 500 yards. And that's because a guy that I completely forgot about, another one, they had a third 1,000-yard receiver on that team, Steve Breston.
Yeah, Stevie Breston, yeah. One of the favorite flex players in fantasy football at that time.
So three
Breston,
1,000-yard receivers on that team. So that was basically a big four as well, right there with Kurt Warner, Anquan Boldin, Larry Fitzgerald, and Steve Breston.
One of the forgotten players of the past. I have actually seen one or two Steve Breston items here in the break room. So that was a great blast from the past. Speaking of, you can't talk about a blast from the past without having the Alts and Throwback series. 10 headliners, 23 boxes, guys. 6 golden tickets remain here. So a lot of series with a lot of golden tickets attached to it here in the break room this morning. Speaking of great Vikings wide receivers, we have the Winter Warrior for Jay Jettis. I believe he has not had a less than 1,000-yard receiving season in his NFL career. A guy who barely got over that mark last year.
Yeah, barely got it last
year. But
year.
again, Carson Wentz, Max Brosmer, J.J. McCarthy amongst those top three. Is he ever had less than 1,000?
Nope, never had less.
Never had less than 1,000. So for Jay Jettis, looking to take flight with Kyler Murray.
Looking to go for his 7th 1,000-yard season in a row.
Yeah.
I'm gonna double check. I believe that would be a record.
Interesting. That's pretty crazy.
Especially to start a career. Jerry's gotten it.
Yeah, especially to start a career though. What's the record for Jerry Rice?
So Jerry had 11 straight
holy shit
seasons of 1,000 or more, and I'm gonna say Mike Evans probably has it.
I think his is probably 9 for Evans, if I had to guess.
Let's see.
Probably more, to be honest.
Evans is also 11.
A lot,
but Evans did 11 to start a career, right? So Evans did 11 to start a career. He's had a few close shaves as well. He had one season with 1,001 yards, another season with 1,006 yards, another season with 1,035 yards.
Yeah.
So and then another season with 1,004 yards. So he's had so Mike Evans has had a couple close shaves with the 1,000-yard mark. But yeah, Jettis is well on his way to catching those guys, and obviously, you're mentioned with those guys, it's pretty good company.
That 1,001 or 1,004, one of those has to be the Baker Mayfield at the end of the game.
1,004 was
the 1,004,
Baker Mayfield one,
to get him that incentive there. So really, really cool stuff. This guy is a part of the brand new UA incentive. This is the Darkness lid, as they like to call it. This is a brand new Baltimore Ravens specialty lid that they rolled out just a few months ago. The Red-Eyed Raven, the Darkness, however you'd like to refer to it as. This is Trey Hendrickson, the newest edge rusher for the Baltimore Ravens. If there's one thing that Baltimore really needs to improve on from last year, it's their defense collectively. A lot of health, but again, that can apply to many teams, but they really lacked a significant pass rush. Just collectively, top to bottom, their secondary was not great either. Kyle Hamilton, one of the best safeties in the game, was in and out of the lineup last year. But Trey Hendrickson, a guy that is very, very familiar with that AFC North, going from attacking quarterbacks for Joe Burrow to now him getting attacked twice a season. Bare minimum from Trey Hendrickson. Obviously, the Baltimore Ravens, one of the most electrifying offenses in the National Football League, but they desperately needed some defensive help. Do you think the addition of Trey Hendrickson is enough to push the Ravens back into AFC North contention?
Yeah, so the Ravens were tied for 29th.
Not great.
Tied for 29th in sacks.
Ooh.
Yeah, tied for 29th in total sacks. Total defense, again, they were probably, again, near the bottom. They were near the bottom of the pack. They were bottom 10 defense in terms of yards. So a lot of that had to do with health. scoring defense. They were more middle of the pack, a more bend, don't break type of thing, but still allowing quite a bit of points. When those guys get healthy and take the field, they will be a better defense. Jesse Minter coming in should help that defense a ton, but obviously Trey Hendrickson is going to be huge. And I think the big thing with Trey Hendrickson is, I've always kind of gone back and forth on this with like how motivated are players, or like, do they need extra motive? Like, I don't think guys necessarily need extra motivation as such, but if you're Trey Hendrickson, like the Baltimore Ravens have taken a lot of flack across the league for voiding the Max Crosby trade. Mm-hmm. And fair or not, Trey Hendrickson was essentially their backup plan to Max Crosby when they signed him. If I'm Trey Hendrickson, I'm trying to ball out this season.
Yeah.
And prove that I was the right choice.
Well, that was still only was only a 1-year deal, right?
No, Hendrickson is a long-term deal.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Hendrickson. I'm sure there's some cap gimmicks with like void years and stuff, but Hendrickson was I'm pretty sure he signed a long-term.
I'm probably thinking of Dexter Lawrence is who I'm thinking of. Yeah, who replaced Trey Hendrickson for Cincinnati.
Yeah, Hendrickson signed. Four-year contract.
Okay,
for
so
Hendrickson.
he signed the extension once he got moved over there. So Trey Hendrickson, UA exclusive. He's actually having a signing, I believe, next week.
Okay.
In the DMV area. So I know we got a DMV watcher and Herm. And our boy Herm Williams out there. Yeah. So make sure to go check that out. Check out Trey Hendrickson. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, make sure to check him out of the Motor City. This is considered the Motor City Alternate Authentic. Talk about a guy who is I think every year outside of his rookie year, he has had 1,000 yards in his career. I think that is 4 straight for Amon-Ra St. Brown. Thank goodness for Google. So Chinmay here in the research department.
Yeah, it could have been 5 in a row because his rookie year he got to 912.
Yeah, but
in his rookie year, I don't think he really started playing meaningful snaps until week 12.
That's actually nuts.
he had.
That's pretty crazy.
So I'm gonna quickly run some numbers here.
Yeah,
but let's see, because he played all 17.
Very durable player, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
So the first 10 games that he played in, he had 8 targets twice, and that was the most amount of targets that he'd had in a game. 8 targets twice, never topped 8 targets for the first 10 weeks. For the last 7 weeks of the season, double-digit targets in each game.
Yeah.
So it tells you how much he grew over those last 7 weeks. Mm-hmm. And again, only 88 yards off of 1,000-yard season, which if he had gotten more run early on in the season, he would have easily topped.
And and realized how valuable he is to that offense. And how one of the best ball security guys as well. Very, very sturdy, very reliable. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Speaking of sturdy and reliable, by the way, I was oohing and ahhing at this earlier. I didn't realize when I pulled this out for Karen Valentine for this Jerome Bettis, how many decals and stickers there are on the back of this.
Oh, wow.
For Jerome Bettis.
Wow.
So you got his 36. You got a Super Bowl XL, which of course was the I believe the 2005, like you said, the last game of his career. Mm-hmm. There's a USA decal. There's also the Hall of Fame little one as well, right next to the 36. Not sure what the DD and CHN are standing for exactly on the back of this, but this is absolutely gorgeous for Jerome Bettis. Chinmay said he's never really seen anything like it for the Lunar Speed Flex. This is very rare to get Jerome Bettis on something like this. So really, really cool stuff. Moving right along here, outside of Amon-Ra St. Brown, instead of getting one great lines wide receiver, how about you can double up and get 2? This is stunning to me. This was my favorite helmet we had in the entire break room yesterday. My jaw is on the floor that this is still existing. The Megatron Calvin Johnson. I looked this up yesterday just so I could garner the value of this. This is going anywhere between $1,400 to $1,500, folks, for what we got right now for the great the great Calvin Johnson. My apologies. One of the best wide receivers at his peak in NFL history.
Could be yours for as little as $108.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to believe.
You're looking at about a 14 to 15x jump in value.
Yeah.
And we've seen this a lot actually with the visors. We've got the same tone visor as the helmet. And for some of them, I was a little skeptical, but I'm sure that when it comes out on the table, it'll look super nice. That'll be, that'll look very nice. And I'm kind of growing on the same tone visors. I was a little skeptical at first, but I'm growing on it now.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're a big fan of that color scheme, that rich dark blue, the Honolulu blue as we like to call it here, just times it by 2, man. Times it by 2. Karen, look, I totally get that, my friend. No worries at all. But look, you're having Peyton Manning and Jerome Bettis. I mean, you can't complain. I mean, at least the money was well spent.
Money well spent for sure. You got 2 items, one that you really wanted and one that's highly valuable in Peyton Manning.
Damn right, my friend. AFC North golden tickets goes well with the Trey Hendrickson double up right there. And then we have 3 NFC South tickets. That does not go with any photo headliners, but I'd be willing to bet out of the 13 hidden gems, we have to have at least 1 hidden gem NFC South. This is really, really cool, guys. Very rarely do we get all 4 of these names on one lid. This is the quad signed Buffalo Bills Speed Flex. Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas, Andre Reed, and Mark Levy, 4 Hall of Famers on one singular lid. I looked this up yesterday. It was on an STS Speed Flex. It was going for about $1,500 to $1,600. If you are a Buffalo Bills fan, I mean, this was the golden age of Buffalo Bills football. 4 consecutive AFC Championship wins for the Buffalo Bills. The big question is, will this finally be the year that not only does Buffalo make the Super Bowl in the Josh Allen era, can they finally get that wretched monkey off of their back and get themselves a Super Bowl win for themselves in their franchise's history? That is a very, very interesting question to ask, and which, by the way, you can double that up with the Hall of Famer Zach Thomas, the great Miami Dolphins linebacker. How about this? Colston Loveland, who goes great with Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra, and Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
So that is a quad up, guys, for $432. That is a no-brainer. And Fred Warner, NFC West grade right there. So since we're on the topic of the Buffalo Bills and talking about some potential Hall of Fame or Super Bowl action, I believe that they are the favorites to come out of the AFC for the Super Bowl. It seems like the preseason predictions, them and the Ravens are very much neck and neck for Buffalo and Baltimore, and the Rams are the significant favorites to come out of the NFC. Could you end up seeing that as a potential Super Bowl matchup with LA and Buffalo?
Yeah, I think that's very possible. I think both will have some serious challengers, though. I don't think that it's very unlikely that the sort of preseason matchup that we all want ends up coming to fruition, whether by injuries or by a surprise team kind of balling out. But especially in the NFC, even despite the moves the Rams made with Trent McDuffie and Myles Garrett and Aaron Donald potentially coming back, the reigning Super Bowl champions are not the Los Angeles Rams. It's the Seattle Seahawks, who are in the same division, and then the injury-riddled 49ers, who still managed to get to 12 wins last year, are also in that division. So the Rams, forget about, being Super Bowl favorites. They might not even win their own division because of the teams that are there with them. And then you've also got teams like the Eagles, the Packers, the Lions, maybe even the Tampa Bay Buccaneers if Baker Mayfield can get hot, who are in the NFC with a puncher's chance or more to get to the Super Bowl. And then on the AFC side, obviously Josh Allen and the Bills are a formidable group, but they didn't represent the AFC last year for the Super Bowl. It was a team in their own division, the New England Patriots, with Drake May. They just got A.J. Brown, a big-time target. Romeo Doubs was added in to improve that receiver group. So the Patriots will be a factor as well. You've got your other sort of Fab Four quarterbacks with Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow. Those teams will all be a factor. The Chargers with Justin Herbert and Mike McDaniel coming in now as the offensive coordinator. They'll be a factor. And the team that won the #1 seed last year in the AFC, the Denver Broncos, they're also going to be a factor too.
Who are wildly disrespected.
So plenty of challengers for the Bills and the Rams. And I don't think I obviously won't be crazy to think that would be the Super Bowl matchup. I don't think we end up getting it, though, because there are just so many other teams that have a legitimate shot at knocking off those contenders.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to have any pushback on that. There's more than just, 2 teams in the National Football League, right? So, I mean, could you imagine, this time last year and you placed, a little future slip on Seattle and New England going head to head, and something like that would pay out. Hell, even, halfway through last season, Seattle and Denver, and again, Vegas, is not the end all be all when it comes to making these odds. That better than anybody. But again, looking at Seattle and Denver right now for just, Super Bowl level odds. I mean, even New England as well, they're, a couple notches down on the totem pole in the NFC and the AFC.
And I think, you talked about it, the Broncos getting a level of disrespect. We see Broncos in the break room, most prominently Bo Nix. But we've also got Patrick Surtain in here. Cortland Sutton has been here from time to time. I'm sure Jalen Waddle, once we get him on Broncos memorabilia,
big addition,
will start coming in the break room as well. Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware. We've gotten Peyton on Broncos before, but the Broncos at the moment are not first to win their division, but they're not even second.
Yeah,
right now.
Chargers
in the odd. It's Chiefs and then Chargers right now to win the AFC West over the Denver Broncos, who brought back basically their whole team that won 14 games a year ago, and then also added Jalen Waddle. So I agree with you that despite my apprehension to Bo Nix, I do agree that the Broncos are definitely not getting the respect that they deserve.
Yeah.
And if Bo Nix can take that next step to be that elite, consistent quarterback, they will definitely be a Super Bowl threat.
I think it's a factor of 2 things, right? Like, now that you get 14 wins, the old adage is if you're coming off of, especially first in your conference, you're going to get a tougher schedule by trade, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I don't have the Broncos schedule in front of me. All I know is that they have, and you can pull that up. We can go through it briefly.
It starts week 1, right? They got a very tough game on the road in Kansas City week 1.
Is it at Kansas City?
It's at Kansas City.
Okay,
it's at Kansas City. Yeah, and look, the first, I mean, let's talk about it. The first 6 weeks for the Denver Broncos, the first 6 weeks, it's home. They're split home and road 3-3 games. They go at Kansas City for week 1. Then they've got the Jags and the Rams at home. 2 teams that made the playoffs a year ago. The Jags, I believe, won 8 in a row to close the year.
Second seed in the AFC, right?
Yeah. Then they go to San Francisco, and then they go to the Chargers.
Oh, God.
And then to round out this 6-week schedule, they're on a short week against the Seattle Seahawks. So
good luck.
They're probably hoping to go 500.
Do they have a bye after that, or when is their
No,
bye?
The bye is in week 10.
Okay.
For them. So they have 9 weeks of football, and they play Kansas City both times in the first 9 weeks
prior to the bye. Yeah. I would say I agree. I was just going to say the same thing as you, dude. If they can go 3-3 in that stretch, which again, I think that they have a case. Look, their defense, as you can see, traveled last year throughout the postseason. For sure. And again, I feel like a lot of people, and it's ironic if people try to use the injury excuse. Look, obviously the Chiefs did not win a singular ball game after Mahomes' season-ending injury. Yeah. The Raiders were just an absolute cesspool last season. Every single coaching hire acquisition they had seemingly went down the drain. And I think the Raiders will be, new and improved this year to a certain extent. Kind of like a lot of people, I feel like look at the Patriots in odds right now. They're not favored to win their division either. They're slightly behind Buffalo in that respect. But again, a lot of people, between whether it's the Bo Nix injury in the AFC Championship game, amongst other things, a lot of people had hesitation, trusting Drake May, even though the kid in his second full season, second in MVP voting. Obviously, the lights were a little too bright for him in the Super Bowl, but we saw that Seattle defense last year was historically dominant, which carried them to that point. They had a dominant run game. Sam Darnold was good. Sam Darnold was fine. Sam Darnold just didn't end up costing Seattle. He was good. He was solid, but he wasn't the backbone of why they ended up winning the Super Bowl.
Sure.
But, I think it's one of those things too. There's a lot of factors, the ability to repeat, the ability to get out of your conference. That's when we start talking about dynastic level teams. And I think we can all agree, looking at New England, looking at Seattle, I think it's safer to go the field for that route. And again, just going back to the topic of this conversation with LA, with great, powers comes great responsibility, right? I may have watched Spider-Man yesterday. That's why I'm saying that.
Yeah.
But again, look, they're a proven. The coaching staff is proven with Sean McVay. Matt Stafford in his first year in LA is stamped with the Super Bowl championship and also an MVP last year. Look, they have everything on the surface to make themselves have a deep postseason run. But like you said, in that NFC West, it's going to be very, very daunting. But maybe I think that's the perfect tune-up for whoever comes out of the NFC West to make the deepest postseason run, because every single game that those three teams play against each other is going to have a playoff-type feel to it. So that's why I think if I had to choose any team to come out of the NFC, it's got to be an NFC West team.
For sure.
Unless
it's definitely hard to go against the NFC West. And going back to the Broncos, after the bye, their schedule lightens up significantly. They have tough games in the final 3 weeks of the season, but then the 6-week stretch that we talked about to begin the year, they have a five-week stretch after the bye where they got the Raiders twice, the Steelers, the Dolphins, and the Jets. So they could easily make up for a tough start to the year later on in the year with a good 5-game stretch there. You mentioned Sam Darnold, and it's a good point that you bring up. And we talk about, value in the break room and winning items for a fraction of the cost. Last offseason, we did have some Sam Darnold Seahawks memorabilia. And he was a hidden gem, maybe a secondary headliner. Sam Darnold, the value of Sam Darnold items at that point of the year was pretty minimal. Not a lot of people wanted a ton of Sam Darnold memorabilia. Now he had it coming off a great season with the Vikings, but
bastards.
You never knew what he was going to do with Seattle.
Yeah,
he wins the Super Bowl. Now all of a sudden you go look for Sam Darnold memorabilia. It's going to be 4 figures. It's going to be 4 figures for Sam Darnold memorabilia.
I'm so glad you bring that up. Yeah, go ahead.
We could see a similar story play out with Bo Nix. Bo Nix is a headliner in a lot of series.
That's a great point.
Bo Nix is a headliner in a lot of series, so he's already pretty valuable. But he could end up being more valuable if the Broncos build on what they did last year and end up winning a Super Bowl.
No, that's a fantastic point. I remember months ago, I made a very similar statement about Darnold. I remember we had him on a rivalry speed flex shortly after, because I believe Seattle and Arizona were the first 2 teams last year to debut the rivalries. I was in week 2 or 3 last year. And I remember we newly got a Sam Darnold rivalry flex in the room, and at the time it was probably at about 900, give or take. And now Sam Darnold, I think on the same rivalry speed flex, can go between $1,300 to $1,400.
4 figures.
So and again, like you said, I mean, it's kind of like, it's funny because in a lot of ways the memorabilia, right, is similar to the stock market in some ways, right?
Very similar.
It's very similar. When things are trending in the right direction, the whole point of being on a stock market is you want to be able to get. You got to read it. You got to be able to get in while you can, because you want to fast forward to a few months, a few years down the line, and the shares for the stock are worth, increasingly higher than when you originally bought in. So you're riding that hot wave and that high ride. The same way with Sam Darnold, right? You mentioned his days in Minnesota with KOC, ended up building up his stock, which, by the way, real quick, since we're on the topic here, because I want to continue this conversation, you'll never believe this, for $54, you can get Sam Darnold, where it all began with the USC Trojans, the former 3rd overall selection, the number 14 Sam Darnold, which, by the way, guys, really cool thing about this Double Trouble series, you end up getting 1 item plus another. That'll be baseball, basketball, football, and actually hockey.
You may see on the website we have number of headliners and number of boxes. In that Double Trouble, it's going to say 32 boxes. That's actually not it's 32 items. There's 16 boxes. So you may think, 9 headliners and 32 boxes, I got no shot. It's actually 9 headliners and 16 boxes, but each box has 2 items in it. So it's 32 items, but there's 16 boxes. So you actually have, more than a 50% chance of that headliner item.
For sure.
In addition to something else. Sam Darnold with USC, obviously, a timeless piece. He's always going to be a USC Trojan, no matter what NFL team he ends up with. You talk about the stock market, and one guy who is also in that Double Trouble series, who's also prominent across the break room, Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith, we get a lot of Emmitt Smith memorabilia, and conventional wisdom would tell you in the memorabilia game that the more memorabilia that there is out there, the less valuable that price point is, because it's more easily accessible. Kind of similar to a stock market. The more shares that are available for a certain stock, the price point of that stock might not be as high. But in Emmitt Smith's case, I would say like Emmitt Smith is more of like your sort of, not to get too in the weeds here about the stock market, but Emmitt Smith is kind of like your S&P 500 type company that is like, it's going to grow
steadily. Yeah.
And steadily grow and then kind of hold its value at a very high point. Like Emmitt Smith memorabilia, there might be a lot of it. It's all going to be valuable.
It's all good. Yeah.
It's similar to Tom Brady, right? Tom Brady, there's a lot of Tom Brady memorabilia that we get in the break room. It's all going to be extremely valuable. Just because there's suddenly more Tom Brady memorabilia, the value doesn't diminish.
No.
Once you establish that resume that you have with your NFL career or baseball career or basketball career, once you've established that baseline resume, very similar to a company with its production, once you've established a baseline level of your business, you don't suddenly just start losing value in the stock market, similar to the memorabilia game. You don't just suddenly start losing value in your memorabilia.
Yeah, like you said, it's established. Again, a phenomenal point, an anecdote that I think you and I would talk about here on air. But again, it's funny.
Come for your break room needs, and then also your investing tips.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're any type of investing. It's funny. We usually talk about investing ourselves into the futures market and things like that. We'll joke around and we'll talk about some level of plays that we can give out for you guys. The biggest play, though, if you are looking for the best bang for your buck, if I was able to rename one of these series, guys, it would be the bang for your buck series, because as Chinmay and I just mentioned, this is why you want to get into the spots like the quad. Quad for the 216 is elite. We were breaking it down for Trav earlier when he was like, quad, 4 boxes, right? 4 items. Yes, traditionally that's true for every other series, but because you get 2 items in every single box, it's going to be 12 items that you get. Yeah. 12 items are going to be able to get out of this quad series too. You're not going to be able to find another series here at UA where you can get 12 items potentially for $216. So keep that in mind. And again, you're talking about the ebbs and flows. We just talked about a guy in Emmitt Smith, as Chinmay just alluded to, has a high baseline, very well established, going to have a very good price point for his memorabilia. It's never going to go out of style. This guy, in a lot of similar breadth, can be looked at as a Sam Darnold type clone, a guy who has a ton of pedigree very early on in his career, and his stock is increasingly rising year by year, and that's Elly De La Cruz. 2-time All-Star, 6'6" shortstop, but the guy can run a 440. One of the fastest literally home-to-home times in Major League Baseball. A guy who has, I think, led the league in triples since his career has started. Been an unbelievable player for the Reds. Unfortunately, the Reds hovering right around a 500 team. They're looking to get themselves back into a wild card spot. Going to be really hard for them, especially because they now have lost Hunter Green for the rest of the year. Terrible news about him yesterday. He is having elbow surgery. Not great for the Cincinnati Redlegs. However, beautiful City Connect jersey for the Double Fours and Elly De La Cruz. Speaking of the Reds, if you are a Ohio resident, if you're a Reds fan, if you're a baseball fanatic, this is the break for you. Cannot remember the last time we've had 2 Reds pieces a part of a photo headline together. You have the 1990 champions. Now, in this day and age in baseball, right, arguably the most important part of constructing a championship team in baseball is your bullpen. Nowadays, you can pluck out, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys in a pitching staff top to bottom that touches, 95 plus miles an hour. This Cincinnati Reds 1990s team was truly one of the first bullpens that really was the dominant force of their team. You had Randy Myers, Rob Dibble, and Norm Charlton. 3 guys who were absolutely dominant in the back end of the pen. They had good pitchers as well. Jack Armstrong, Jose Rijo, who were really, really good established starting pitchers, but their strength was the back end of their bullpen. Barry Larkin, future Hall of Famer, was still early on in his career. You had a great outfielder in George Foster as well, but that bullpen, man, if you look up those numbers at home, you're not familiar with the 90s Reds, they will blow you away. One of the most forgotten dominant pitching teams in World Series history. For World Series champions, I should say. Yeah. Speaking of baseball, we have a historic piece, and I've been almost here for a full year at UA. I have not seen a perfect game in Scribe Ball with the pitching and catching tandem that we have between David Cone and Joe Girardi. Have absolutely no clue why David Cone is not a Hall of Famer. Multiple-time World Series champion, a guy that's thrown a perfect game and a no-hitter, one of the best pitchers of the 1980s and 1990s. The guy pitched in nothing but big games in his whole career. Funny thing, I looked this up yesterday. He threw this on July 18th, 1999. Before the game started, they actually had a ceremonial first pitch from Yogi Berra, who actually caught Don Larsen's World Series perfect game back in 1956. And Don Larsen was in attendance for that game as well. You have to see Dibble's numbers as a reliever that year. My good old buddy, pal, Mr. Daddy Fat Sacks, joining us here on a Saturday morning. By the way, Daddy Fat Sacks is only ever tunes into Saturday mornings for you. He admires your commentary very, very much. Almost as much as we admire Antonio Gates. Antonio Gates, the best undrafted player in NFL history. A guy who, truthfully, a true rags to riches story. Yeah. A Charger through and through. If you had to close your eyes and picture who's on the top of the food chain for all-time Chargers players, we know who Chin May's fantasies are about for LaDainian Tomlinson. And rightfully so. He's the greatest Charger of all time. Yeah. But Antonio Gates has to be probably number 2 or 3.
I think Antonio Gates is number 2. I think you can make the argument for a guy like Sean Merriman to be up there.
Sean Merriman, Phillip Rivers, of course.
Phillip Rivers, yeah. I think LT and Gates are probably the most synonymous, though. Rivers probably that's your trio. It should have been Drew Brees, LT, and Antonio Gates, but I think Phillip Rivers, LT, and Antonio Gates are probably your iconic San Diego trio.
Talk about a win-win, though, right? The guy that was traded for Eli Manning because Eli, for some reason, Eli Manning is like, San Diego, California for my whole career. Not an established franchise at that point in time, really. But I guess I wanted to be in cold-ass New York for basically half of my season. But hey, you know what? He won 2 Super Bowls. He made the right choice. Yep. And let's be honest, those Chargers teams are hopefully not forgotten in the sands of time. They had some of the best offenses in the NFL in the mid-2000s.
Yeah. Rivers, Gates, LT, Michael Turner, the backup running back, was obviously phenomenal too.
Great flex play.
On defense, they had some great players. Marty Schottenheimer, all-time great coach. Norv Turner,
before Schottenheimer,
Norv was after Schottenheimer.
Oh, after. No, you're right.
Norv was after Schottenheimer. And they unfortunately, again, very similar to like Peyton Manning running into Tom Brady, Phillip Rivers ran into Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger.
That's tough.
So basically like murderer's row every year with your quarterbacks. Not all that different to what your Fab 4 quarterbacks are facing right now with Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. They've all pretty much lost to Patrick Mahomes in the postseason. So not at all too not too dissimilar to what Phillip Rivers was experiencing with the Chargers in those seasons.
Yeah, Phillip Rivers, I mean, he was, again, I hate to be a box score watcher over here, but I think he made one AFC championship game in that 14-2 season back in 2007.
I don't even think they made the AFC title game that year. They lost to the Patriots that year in the divisional round. I think it was the following year.
It was the championship game in 2007 that they lost to the Patriots.
No.
Oh, in 2006, you mean?
That wasn't the 14-2 season.
Oh, that was with LT's MVP season in 2006.
LT's MVP season, they lost to the Patriots in the divisional round.
Correct.
But they did lose to the Patriots in the 2007 championship game, yes.
Correct, with Billy Volek backing up Phillip Rivers that year. LT, not a bad follow-up to his MVP season, had nearly 1,500 yards.
Yeah, pretty hard to duplicate that kind of season.
Still led the league in rushing and touchdowns. Not bad. How about this for their... Man, I love this, man. I love going back and looking at some old stuff here. Team that led the league in receptions was, of course, our signed football and Antonio Gates. Came close to 1,000 yards. Can you name me the number 2 guy in that offense that year for the 2007 Chargers who did make
Receiver.
Yeah. Only 623 receiving yards, which was second on the team. That's how heavily they leaned on LT in that offense.
Man, I think it's too early for Vincent Jackson.
Nope. Got the toes on the nose there.
All right.
Vincent Jackson, 41 receptions and 623 yards.
Must have been like his rookie year or his second year.
This was their second leader in receptions was, of course, LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yeah, of course.
And then their number 3 wide receiver in terms of receiving yards with 555 was Chris Chambers.
Oh, Chris Chambers.
Chris Chambers was their number 3 option. Yeah. So, and again, I mean, Phillip Rivers consistently churned out top 10 offenses. Yeah. You know, and of course, you know, obviously LaDainian Tomlinson being the focal point. But again, you know, Phillip Rivers still the starting quarterback. 11-5 that year that they won with Norv Turner.
Yeah.
Their points per game was 5th. And their defense was top 5 as well.
Oh no, they had a phenomenal defense too. You know, Cromartie on one end on the cornerback side. They had Sean Merriman. They're pretty solid defensive line.
10 picks for Cromartie.
Yeah, Cromartie was an interception machine. So they've had some very good. I think Eric Weddle was still on that team at that point.
Yep, Eric Weddle.
Yeah. So they had some good defensive players too. There were some very very good Chargers teams that just unfortunately ran into, again, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger. Pretty much all that they experienced in the playoffs. And at some point, you know, you would think that they'd break through, but it just wasn't meant to be.
A very apropos murderer's row, as you described. Yes, I gotta go back and see what my man is saying here with what he was talking about Dibble's reliever numbers going back to the 1990 Reds season. You know how hard it is to accumulate a 4-WAR season as a relief pitcher? That is incredibly hard.
It's nearly unheard of.
Dibble appeared in 68 games, had a 1.74 earned run average. Randy Myers was the closer for that team with 31 saves, but Dibble still contributed with 11. He allowed 62 hits over 98 innings pitched, and he struck out 136 batters in 98 innings and a whip below 1. That is truly, without looking up the numbers, that is truly one of the best relief pitcher seasons in the history of Major League Baseball.
Wow.
Speaking of all-time greats, Sammy Sosa, the only player in MLB history to lead the league with 3 separate 60 home run seasons. Let's go over okay. Well, that's a thank you for that update, buddy. Appreciate that. Sammy Sosa, only guy to lead the league in home runs 3 separate seasons, but never to win a home run title. Very interesting stuff there for Slam and Sammy, one of 9 guys to have over 600 career home runs for the great Sammy Sosa. All corked bat and all. Andre Johnson on the autograph football, second for the great Andre 3000. Second time we see him in the series today. We also have him on that authentic in the gold jacket. Donovan Mitchell, this actually doubles up with that Sam Darnold. And for a double up, guys, you get 4 items for $108 potentially. Looking for our first buy-in for what we have there for the great Donovan Mitchell. Awesome stuff there. Speaking of all-time great stuff, most people, hard to believe this, top 10 all-time in playoff points per game. For a guy who just made his first conference finals appearance. This past year.
He's Donovan Mitchell has been one of the playoff monsters in the NBA. Donovan Mitchell, Luka Dončić, Anthony Edwards, the 3 sort of younger guys who have just been playoff monsters.
Which, if you could believe it, it will be Donovan's 10th year in the NBA this upcoming year. I still remember watching him dismantle that OK3 with George Westbrook and Carmelo Anthony. Yeah, him and Rudy Gobert dismantled that. I think that was in 5 games.
Those are some very good, again, some very good Utah Jazz teams that just couldn't find a way to get to the NBA Finals. But some very, very good Utah Jazz teams with Donovan Mitchell at the head of the snake for sure.
You know what? I do want to kind of bring that back into focus in something you and I discussed earlier, because we were talking about the NBA, and you were talking about Duncan. Who else did you mention? Duncan. We were talking about Magic. Thank you.
Guys who won early in their career and then just kept winning.
You know, nowadays with the second apron and everything that the CBA has created, you know, you're not allowed to go through a whole lot of everything. Is like, you know, if you have a team in their front office depicts them as like, okay, this is a championship contending team, you know, how many runs can you get out of them if they fall short? There's only one champion every year, right? So like truthfully, I wonder if San Antonio won the title this year, what do you do with that Knicks core? Does that get dismantled? Because that would be 3 straight runs with that core, right?
I think it'd be 2.5. I don't think they count the previous one
when they acquired Anunoby at the deadline.
Yeah, I don't think they necessarily count that. But even the Knicks, right? The Knicks are a great example of sort of, but this is where I get more frustrated with NBA owners. The Knicks won the championship this year. Mm-hmm. They are a championship caliber team.
Of course.
And James Dolan said publicly, we're not diving into the second apron. And then they lose Mitchell Robinson in free agency.
To the Celtics, no less.
They did bring in Andre Drummond, so they did get a replacement. But the point is, it's very hard to have when you have a championship caliber team, sometimes ownership will push back and make that mandate for you.
Yeah.
So it's very possible that at times, these things just don't end up working out. Yeah, they should count that half season. They were very good with that. I agree. They could count that, but I think they really counted as 2 runs. Ultimately, they won the championship, so who really cares what they counted as?
I can't remember. I believe that they got battered by injuries.
Yeah.
I think that's why they lost to, Indiana?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
they
of
basically
those injuries.
had
that's when Brunson broke his hand in Game 7.
Brunson had a hand injury, but even before that point, they basically had like a 6-man rotation. Josh Hart was playing like 46 minutes a game.
That was a good time to bet on Hart. Mikal
Bridges was playing like 45 minutes a game. They had Bridges for that.
Bridges.
Yeah,
they traded him going into that season.
Anunoby got hurt in Game 4, I believe, and then came back for Game 7 and got hurt in Game 7. Mm-hmm. They've been all over the place.
Speaking of Mikal Bridges, who, by the way, we've seen once or twice here in the break room, folks. I think the best thing to come out of this Knicks title, forget about breaking a half-century drought. That Instagram Live that he had a couple days after the title, I think that was the best thing that came out of that. Because let's just say that he not a big fan of the draft picks that they decided to give up. So do want to get an update on the break room, guys.
We do have a couple breaks that we're about to do.
Hey, let's go, folks.
We've got a Gold Jacket single coming up, and then we've also got a Alts and Throwbacks single coming up.
Let's go.
So we've got a couple breaks. Let me find this other okay, I'm gonna have to create the Alts and Throwbacks, but
you take your time.
But those 2 breaks will be coming up here.
So who are some of the culprits that helped close that
it up? Karen, who decided that she found some additional funds, I guess. Maybe she found a taker for the Peyton Manning. And has decided to jump back in to the breaks. But we'll have let's see, it's Alts and it's
guys. Every
number
bank
2.
Number 2. Yeah. Folks, they do have overdraft on accounts at every single bank. I'm not saying to do that.
Yeah,
but
you just gotta make sure.
Passing along the knowledge. That's all. That's all I'm trying to do here.
So it'll be the Gold Jacket number 3 will be first, and then we'll have also the Alts and Throwbacks.
Alts and Throwbacks, baby. So very, very awesome way to end the show. The Gold Jacket, of course, which we will do first on that first single here. A part of the Chase Wheel Spin. We did.
We'll add that to those names to the wheel spin as well.
Very, very nice. So this Gold Jacket numero trace. I'll ask for a number here in just a second. Whoever decided to make these original breaks must be very, very excited about these breaks with the all caps, which is nice to see. One number. Let's see here. One number for Gold Jackets number 3. If you guys are not sick of Chinmay and I yet, well, guess what? You're going to be stuck with us for the 12 o'clock hour.
I'm not here. Yeah, it'll be Hayden. It'll be Hayden.
Hayden. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Hayden,
so
it'll be Hayden for the rest of the day for me.
So, okay. So speaking of being sick of, Chinmay is like, yeah, I can only do 2 hours with Rob today. Screw that. So enjoy the rest of your Saturday, my guys. So have fun with whatever you got going on. So that'll be fun for you. Hate Train coming in here. Hayden and I, very similar to you and me. I feel like our chemistry is seamless. So I'll see if I throw Hayden over here in the chair. Again, now we're going to lose viewership, as you can see in the chat. No Chinmay, no Daddy Fat Sack. So a combination as old as time itself. So we'll do 6 times around the randomizer, guys. So let's see how we get this going here. So 6 times around. Again, This is what I truthfully enjoy. And honestly, man, especially specifically the 9 a.m. shows the last number of weeks, we have had a really, really good, consistent flow of from start to finish.
Saturday morning crew. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. Start Saturdays right.
So we got Karen, Jill, and David. So Karen, the queen of the NFC, and we have another queen as well in Jill Labovitz in that NFC West. Karen, it's funny, she gets the top 3 division in each one. Karen praying that the West is not a factor as David Giles. Any relation to Brian or Marcus at all in that AFC West? I haven't seen a box call. That is A-okay. There's got to be some level of superstition going out there because it was weird, dude. There's got to be some kind of coalition that's being formed with the wheel.
Yeah.
Because I saw a ton of wheel calls, or no calls, I should say, yesterday and now into today as well. So there must be a trend going on I'm not aware of.
Rob is right. As I'm seeing the back of this Jerome Bettis helmet, there are some awesome decals on here.
Right?
Got the Super Bowl decal, the Hall of Fame decal. It looks like there's a Darth Vader decal, but it's a guy in an old school football helmet, but it looks like a Vader decal. You got the 36 on there. There's a nice little U.S. flag decal at the back. So a lot of great stuff on the back of this Bettis. That is going to be one to enjoy for sure.
So for this single numero uno, we spun 12. I just checked that off. So
12.
Box 12, we will be good to go, my friend. So, and again, the one thing, and I always like to say that there's a theme for every show here, guys. And that theme so far has been headliners. We've done 6 golden tickets, Adams, Moss, Manning, and Bettis across the board. So will this continue? Speaking of golden tickets, my friend, ironically, if you pull a secondary headliner or hidden gem, you're going to get a golden ticket with that item. We've done the golden tickets for almost 2 months now, probably getting closer to 2 months. We have not had a series that is like this, incorporating the golden tickets. So shout out to Luke, the brain trust who we have as a part of that our series building team here at UA. So good luck to you folks. Good luck to my, you know what I haven't done? I have placed, I think, 1 or 2. The only bets that I have placed since the NBA Finals are games that I'm in attendance for.
Okay.
So I have truthfully not sat on my fat ass and watched any games with bets. You know, with a wedding to plan, with the house to move into, I've had to cut costs. I think today I break the schneid, and I'm gonna put something on White Sox money line because Lord knows that they need some. They need some level.
At least you're not going, and I say this as somebody who does bet. At least you're not going the other way where you're saying, there's a wedding and a house to pay for, and therefore I need to gamble. So at least, thankfully, you've gone the responsible route.
So, Rob, how about that?
For now.
How about that first month mortgage? So the White Sox had the lead in the ninth.
Yeah.
They blew it. Oh, dude, this is sick. So it's so funny. We were talking about a team earlier who I was kind of listing off some hidden gems that this franchise can have. And this guy's name did not roll off my tongue. He is a Hall of Famer, but I can confidently say I have never seen him on this item before. We have a gold football for a guy who gets credit for the other half of the Hail Mary play. Get Drew Pearson on a gold Wilson football. You got the Roger Goodell signature, but how about this? The Mr. Clutch inscription for the Drew Pearson football. Yeah, this is definitely worth.
I don't know if it'll fit on
this. I used that yesterday. Okay. This will work. This will definitely work. Nice. So, yeah, really, really nice stanchion for this as well. Drew Pearson, a Hall of Famer for the Dallas Cowboys. That is going to be going to Karen Valentine. We have a very, very early Valentine's Day here in the break room. She's killing it, man. Her and Kathleen.
And not a photoed headliner.
Golden ticket.
So golden ticket also going Karen's way. But our Hall of Fame trend continues if we include Devontae Adams retro sort of in a futuristic sense. We're sticking with Hall of Famers on the table today in honor of that Hall of Fame induction ceremony that's taking place.
Only makes sense. So the great Drew Pearson, one of the first great wide receivers in Cowboys franchise history. Not really sure who Karen's team is that she follows, but it's a great win nonetheless. So very nice there. Very, very cool way to...
Gold football, golden ticket.
Only makes sense,
A lot of things working out for Karen. One thing that I will say about Drew Pearson also that I enjoy, Drew Pearson is typically a regular at the NFL draft. He usually announces a Cowboys pick in the later rounds, and he always throws a jab at the Philadelphia Eagles.
You got to. You got to at some point. Hopefully Clay Matthews decides not to do that towards the Bears this year. Because I think that was that last year's draft he did that?
It was last year, yeah.
Yeah, and that spawned
in Green Bay, yeah.
it spawned a division title run.
Yeah.
So might not be the best for Clay to do that. But we're looking for another Valentine's Day here in the break room. Karen's got 6 spots, Jason Miedor and Justin Ross. 6 times around for you folks. Again, I kind of have a feeling that we're going to get ourselves another Willie Estevez to pop up here. Okay, maybe never mind. My husband and myself are Pats and Brady's fans. My children are Steelers.
Okay.
That's an interesting divided house there.
It's like the rebellious kids. Like we don't want to follow in the Tom Brady footsteps. So we'll pick the team that has beaten Tom Brady a decent amount of times in the playoffs, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's interesting though, right? Because again, you and I are childrenless right now. I cannot picture whoever your favorite franchise is. For you, I'm sure that's the Green Bay Packers. You know, if your kids end up being Bears fans, right, in your sense, or for me, the White Sox, if they end up being Northsiders, I'm telling you right now, you can call someone else dad. If for whatever reason.
For me, I think the sports fandom, because I didn't grow up in Chicago, which is why my Packers fandom is what it is. So I think, hypothetically down the line, we'll see what transpires, but I don't think that's really the non-negotiable for me. The non-negotiable for me though is the Missouri, Kansas. Like if they have any affiliation to that bird in the state of Kansas, I'm out.
We're gonna see if we can fly high here one final time. Again, we will end up deciding and seeing where things transpire here down the stretch. I have not seen anything called. Again, that is A-okay. Excuse me. The wheel has worked magical things here.
For sure.
Everything except for that recent Drew Pearson. But I mean, hey,
Hall of Famer
and a golden ticket.
Golden ticket coming with it.
Yeah. So again, this is why
that's cool too, though.
Oh, that's very, very sick, man. Yeah.
He's got Mr. Clutch, yeah.
Which, by the way, even though footballs are not the highest available item that we get here in the break room, you add an inscription. That makes it all the better, right? We're going to go with the Munetaka Murakami number 5. Speaking of Murakami, let's see if we have number 5 here for the alts and throwbacks.
We do.
You do? Okay, cool. So number 5 will be popping out. Murakami last night hit his team high, tying Colson Montgomery's 25th home run as the White Sox got their asses wiped, and now there is only a 2-game divisional lead in the American League Central. Oh, boy. Man, those, did you happen to see any highlights of that Red Sox game the other night with the Sox?
I did not.
So there was a 13-inning, 4.5-hour game. Woo. The White Sox took the lead five different times. And the Red Sox just won. They won, I think, 11-2. They are 27-3 in their last 30 games.
Yeah. Not great.
If you guys, I'm going to say it here first. Okay, I'm not, but I'm on Twitter a lot. If you want the next great cheating scandal in sports, look at this Red Sox team. I'm telling you, there needs to be an investigation. I'm just saying, they score 11 runs at home. They walked us off the other night. They scored 12 runs. I'm just saying there might be some hidden trash cans throughout Fenway Park.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
It's possible.
So
anything is possible.
Yeah. In the great words of Kevin Garnett, not Jason Tatum. Justin Ross in the NFC North, Jason Miedor, AFC East, and Karen, you've literally hit it out of the park.
Got all the other spots.
You are playing this break room phenomenally this morning. Let's see if you get rewarded once again. Well, somebody, again, this has been our favorite fabric today. We're going to get ourselves another cloth bag. Ooh. I'm going to pull this out on both strings here. I'm going to kick Ben's ass if he packs it like this again. Ben, I mean that lovingly. Hopefully Ben's enjoying his weekend off. So, let's see what we get in this this big old turkey we got right here. We're going to end the show on a very, very high note. Oh, this is very, very clean. One of my favorite looking rivalry helmets. And this is actually really, really cool here for this Alts and Throwbacks. Yep, Alts and Throwbacks number 5. Where are you, my good sir? So this has got to be, was this a headliner? I'm not exactly sure.
Believe listed.
Yeah, so I think that's going to, a secondary headliner.
Yeah.
Indeed. We're going to take a trip out west for who else? The Flower Power is in full effect here this morning. Karen Valentine, NFC West, one of the best linebackers of this decade. Fred Warner on the gorgeous rivalry authentic helmet. You get the incredibly nice jet black and maroon colored authentic, the 2 stripes down the middle. You get the Golden Gate on this thing as well. Absolutely gorgeous. Karen, have yourself a morning, and in the great words of Daddy Fat Sacks, can't put it better than
Karen
this, Jimmy.
Masterclass, yep.
Yep, the Karen Masterclass is in session. Wow. Man, which is odd, by the way, because we kind of went against the grain. That's a cloth bag made for a speed flex.
Yeah.
And this is a rare situation where an authentic. You can see
trying to throw us off here.
Yeah, and it worked beautifully. I was that's why I was looking up at the board. I was like, there's no SF next to this.
Fred Warner, again, sticking with our Hall of Famer theme, on his way, if he can stay healthy, to having a Hall of Fame level career.
1,000%. Again, multiple time All-Pro and Pro Bowler, the great Fred Warner. Also, I think he was auditioning for his career after football last year when he was injured. Yeah. Did a lot of coverage for the postseason. Thought he was a natural. Thought he sounded really good. So
yeah, could be a Hall of Fame broadcaster as well. Once his playing days are over, but I think he wants to go into the Hall of Fame as a linebacker.
Somebody's got to replace Tony Romo and Mark Sanchez, right?
I think Warner wants to go in as a linebacker instead of with the microphone.
A broadcaster, yeah. And again, we talked about injuries always being a factor. Again, the Niners last year, after what they did, yeah.
Brock Purdy, George Kittle, Fred Warner, Nick Bosa. Even, Pearsall is going to miss this season, but he missed chunks of last season as well.
Yeah.
Somehow,
Brandon Ayuk, MIA.
The craziest thing of all this is that in all this like cesspool of injuries, Christian McCaffrey played 17 games.
Which is what the ironic part of it is.
It's like the one guy who you thought was going to get hurt did not get hurt. Somehow, some way. Now, guys, the clock has officially struck midnight, also known as the 11 o'clock hour this morning, here in the UA Live break room, coming to you live from a little suburb in the Chicagoland area named Burr Ridge, Illinois. Looking across the scope of everything here, you guys have been absolutely phenomenal. We have so many great hits to talk about for hits of the show coming up right around the corner. I'm looking across the break page, and if Chinmay sees the same thing I do, a lot of 5s, 6s, and 8s after this. So I think this is a good time to put a little moratorium on this. Good point to hop off, in my opinion.
So we're going to have this gold jacket.
Post it for Warner.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. So everything is ready to go. Everything's typed up over here. So the Chase wheel spin, of course, everyone who participated in that gold jacket break is going to get potentially a chance at winning some store credit back after this. Whoever gets the top spot draw, then we'll do our hits of the show in between that. So you see a whole lot of hearts on the screen, a whole lot of Valentines. Again, it started off with Kathleen the first hour, and then Karen just absolutely bulldozed the second half hour. We actually have Gregum in the top spot 5 times around, but we're looking for that magical number 6. And who else but Karen Valentine? Not only did she get the top spot, she got the top 16 spots to close it out. So Karen, if you're still out there, my friend, I'm sure you're familiar with the Chase wheel spin by now. If you want to start on any number that's not the number 1, feel free to let me know. While we do that, though, we got 6 great hits on the table for Chinmay and I to discuss. We'll toss it back and forth here. You can start off with your 6 through 4, and then we could wrap it up with our top 3.
Yeah, so 6 through 4, I'm gonna go number 6. I'm gonna go with the Fred Warner authentic, even though it's on the rivalry. I'm gonna go with Warner at 6. 5, I'm gonna go with the Drew Pearson football.
Okay,
and then 4. This is a tough one. 4, I'm gonna go with the. I'm actually gonna go with the Peyton Manning authentic on the Colts. So all that side there for 4 through 6.
Can't blame you. Can't blame you. Again, guys, this is all subjective. If you got any hits of the show in the chat you'd like to share, feel free to let us know. I gotta go. Look, I love the Pearson football, but it is a football at the end of the day. Yeah. But that is a really, really cool football. I'm gonna put that at number 6. I'm actually going to put the, this will not make you feel good. I'm going to put the Devontae Adams at number 5.
All right.
And then same with you, I'll put Peyton Manning number 4.
Fair enough. So my top 3 are on this side of the table. It's not a reason for me to, I do rank things on the other side of the table highly as well. It's not like only the helmets closer to me get highly ranked. But the top 3 just happen to be here. I'm going to go Devontae Adams 3, Randy Moss 2, and then Bettis #1.
Yeah, I mean, with all the decals and stuff on the back, it's hard to deny that.
On that side.
Yeah, it will be, because spoiler alert, this will also be my #1 hit of the show. I'll give you Mr. Warner on your side, but my 3-1, I'm going to take... Oh, man, this is tough. I'll put the Fred Warner 3, Moss 2, and then you and I, we took different roads traveled, but we still ended up getting...
in the same spot, the correct spot.
Yeah.
Jerome Bettis.
I mean, again, the decals is certainly what does it for me here. Huge congratulations to Karen Valentine. She got this for her son.
Yeah.
This is what she was looking for. And again, she had a 1 in 21 chance. This was the second half of a double box break, and she got the thing done. Karen, good news for you, my friend. Again, this is a wheel from 1 to 100. We'll start on the number 74 for you. Good luck to you, my friend. Hopefully the 74 turns into 100 for you real quick. Oh, it very well might. Shinmei doesn't get around. Oh, #1. Oh, that is such a ball buster. But Karen, the most important thing, you dominated this break page. You got a lot of things that you want. The Bettis, the Manning, the Pearson football.
We'll throw a 5 her way.
Yeah, we'll throw you a little bit of scratch there to help you get back in.
Yeah, we'll throw 5.
Oh,
one is a bit too much of a buzzkill. We'll go at least to 5.
Talk about a roller coaster of emotions here to end the show. Speaking of a roller coaster, you're going to be on for a thrill ride for me and Hayden coming up at the 12 o'clock hour. We say sayonara to Chinmei, who of course does a great job here on Saturday mornings with myself. Kick-ass job on the producer side, dude. Any final thoughts?
No, it's been once again a phenomenal 9 a.m. show. Glad to see the action happening, and hopefully you guys can carry that momentum at noon.
Let's keep it rocking and rolling, folks. We still have our noon 3 primetime show and, of course, our late night 10:30 program with you folks tonight. Again, we're going to step aside for probably the next 55 or so. Hayden will step in. Will I be over there or will I be over here? That will be determined. So you got to not touch that dial to check out and see. Get peeping with our Instagram, folks, really quickly here. See if there are any comments. Okay, so we actually, wow. Okay, so there were some comments, guys. I imagine you got a fan on here. 45, we the best. Not sure if you're familiar.
Okay.
But we got Hey Chinmei a couple of times over. So you got yourself quite the Instagram following. We had dozens upon dozens of people join in.
I'm not on Instagram, so I don't know where the followers are coming from. But I appreciate it.
Might have to look up 45 We the Best. Might have a Chinmei fan page going on over there. Whether you tune in on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you might be from, thank you guys all so much. We had a great time. 9 a.m. for Chinmei. This has been Rob. Do not talk to strangers. Eat those damn vegetables. And we will see you on the other side in about 55 or so.